Hi, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing groovy today. I'm here with the illustrious, wait, where's my hands pointing? Logan, there he is,
Hello.
from Taking L's. And we're going to discuss the DSP tier list. How are you today, Logan?
Doing well. Happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this all week. No
Yeah, I've
lie.
been pretty stoked for it. It's an interesting thing to do with Phil's content because you would think all of his content sucks. Yeah, it all sucks, but some of it's funnier than others. And
Yes, for sure. There are things worthy of the list and things not worthy of the list, for
absolutely.
sure.
And that's the thing that I want you guys to all keep in mind here. This is not a tier list of quality of DSP's work. Otherwise, it's all F. But
Yes.
it's an assessment of how much do you get entertained when he plays these genres. And it's a little bit harder to do now, Logan, because he's just so boring nowadays that even games that you would think would be pretty entertaining to watch him play makes it awful. And
Yeah, he's definitely his entertainment value for gameplay has certainly gone down over time. Because if you go back in time and you're willing to really dig for it, you can find incredibly entertaining uh displays from him, I'll say, from every genre on this list.
absolutely. And that's another component. Thank you for bringing that up. Is that it's a mathematical like sum. There are certain games that, or at least in the past, where he played Souls games, for example, and they were always very entertaining. So much so that Elden Rings wasn't as entertaining as some of the older ones, but that's still good anyway. And
Yes.
likewise, like first person shooters, he used to get more irate during those. Now he just kind of turns them off. Cumulatively, what does it add up to?
Yeah, you're right. It's about the sum of its parts in terms of a genre, because for first person shooters, like when he started to get into battle royales, it was pretty cool, but then the Call of Duty reboot came around and he was just hiding in the bathroom the whole time.
Yes, some of the worst content ever. But then there's another element of it is that part of what makes the tier list this way is that certain games draw something special out of Phil that you never really see anywhere else. And one of those is exactly as you brought up, battle royale games. We have gotten some legendary rants out of DSP while he's been playing battle royale games because he has so much downtime to just air his thoughts. And I count that part of the genre because what other game enables him to do that?
Yes, I agree. If you go onto WPIG and you watch any of the stuff that Alt has put together, you're guaranteed to have at least two or three quotes from a PUBG stream or some other battle royale on every single deep dive,
Pretty much.
just because he just riffed about so much unnecessary shit during those streams, and it was so funny.
Well, it was like therapy for the guy. But we should get into describing them when we get to them.
Yes, absolutely.
I saw your streams on playing Dead Stranding, and I played it last night. Dude, that game's fun. That game's really cool. I'd die like crazy. I get grabbed by those BTs every time. I get
Yeah,
manhandled.
the game tells you nothing about what's going on, and it gives you the bare minimum what you need to know. So it'll punish you at the beginning, but once you get your feet wet in it, it's very fun.
Oh yeah, I can see right away this game's going to be thrilling. It's definitely a cool game I could just kick back and play while just listening to something in the background, and that's a good
Yes.
experience. I like to kind of tune out sometimes during some games. But yeah,
Yes.
I was watching you. You were really far advanced. You had weapons and stuff. You were knocking people out, tossing them around. Me, I'm just trying to run away from everybody.
Yep. You're just trying to deliver bodies to the incinerator. I was watching that last night.
Yeah, it was an excursion. Almost added myself to it. All right.
Well, you made it.
I did. I did. It's because I was inspired by you, man. I saw you kicking
Oh,
ass in there. I thought, oh, I could play this game. This game looks all right.
you'll get there.
Cool.
You'll get there.
Thank you. So we're gonna get cracking. We brought it up first. Our first one on the list here. I don't have the full list visible on screen, and that's so people don't get like I guess too distracted by the rest of them. I don't really have a reason,
Mhm.
but also just we just got these ones here. And first up is first person shooters. Now, I will explain that I have these kind of broken up in categories. So we do have things like arena shooters or like Overwatch and stuff. So it's just specifically first person shooters. say
Okay.
Call of Duty or Battlefield.
Sure.
And
No, go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
also want to describe a little bit more of the tier list itself. So these are the big thing that I'm pulling from for a lot of this information are this is how you don't place. Because if you actually watch any of these playthroughs of anything, it's just awful all throughout. But the condensed power of the this is how you don't play makes them entertaining. And
Yes.
and so by the chart we're going with here is S means those are the best ones. Everyone will love them. And then D is almost unwatchable. So it's those lines of gradient. And like for example, that Borderlands 2 one that I had planned to do, it would be D because it's just unwatchable.
Yes. So just to clarify, but for myself and the audience, I think we are talking about entertainment value.
Yes.
What is the entertainment value of watching him play this genre?
Absolutely. Do
Okay,
you feel amused? And
Okay,
I would even
yes.
go far as to say if you feel anger and it kind of sustains you, that's considered entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, so first-person shooters. We're talking Battlefield, Call of Duty, those kind of things. What are your thoughts on DSP when he's playing these games?
For now, I would put him somewhere in the middle, maybe like a B. Just because there are some good examples of him baby raging at first-person shooters, but I think in terms of the sum of its parts, FPS as a genre for him is kind of weak.
I would say so. I would say that you're going to hear a lot of comparisons to the other genres, and that's part of it, is that when he plays fighting games, he has an excuse for everything that happens on screen. And with first-person shooters, he does as well, but it's not nearly as nuanced, or he doesn't put his back into it. Oh, my gun didn't reload. Oh, there were no enemies near here. It's very lazy. It's very lazy complaining.
Yes.
And he does have a lot of hilarious moments that happen from them, though, such as like getting caught in a firefight and getting annihilated, or getting stream sniped, stuff like that. So it's not bad. They're not entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes the list. And Roachbait in chat is pointing out perfect aim Burnell. Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of the Clippers do them a lot of justice. Like Snort Burnell has some amazing edits of him playing Call of Duty. Mimology has some amazing edits playing Call of Duty. But again, it's like you said earlier, Len, that this is how you don't play, and the creative license of the Clippers do a lot for FPS.
Yes.
Where if I were to sit down and do an endure style thing like Lefty and I did, or try and make it this is how you don't play, a first person shooter is the last thing I would choose.
Yeah, and it's definitely got to be something old because a lot of his modern ones suck. So that's also what's holding down the math for him.
Yes.
Is that, his Battlefield 3 and 4 ones, they're pretty funny, especially how he gets kind of racist during some parts of it.
Oh, yeah.
But you watch him play he's got a Call of Duty he's going to play here in a little bit, from what I understand. It's going to be boring.
Yes.
So you'd say B?
I say B. I have a
agree.
copy of the list. I have my copy of the list up in another window, and I'm putting it at B.
All right. So mobile games.
Well, it depends on how you want to talk about this.
Yeah.
I'd say D, all the way at the bottom, because you've watched a ton of WWE champions at this point.
They're
it's
terrible.
Shit. Am I right?
They're the worst content. I didn't think anything could be worse than some of these other items here on this genre, but watching this dude just do polls and menu management for 75% of the time, it's unwatchable. And then he just does polls and T-poses and screams, and then you get 5 minutes of actual gameplay spread across the entire stream. It's ass. It's his worst content.
The thing about mobile games is there are ways to make mobile polls entertaining. People do that. That's why Boss Man Jack exists, literally. And there are tens of thousands of people that show up to a Boss Man Jack stream. Granted, that is much more of a horrible display because Boss Man Jack is actively ruining his own life on stream. But my point still stands. There are ways to make mobile games entertaining, and Phil doesn't do it.
No, absolutely dreadful. I will say the other thing that kind of does boost its score just a little bit, but it still kind of keeps it at F, is that he does go on some interesting rants during his WWE Champion stuff. They're nothing particularly juicy and spicy, but they're little bits of DSP's inner thoughts about things, and I kind of appreciate that. I do like how invested he gets in the game. it's kind of weird that it's the worst game he's ever played that he's invested in. He's telling me about the characters and the stats and the builds and whatnot. Granted, he doesn't tell them very well. He doesn't really explain anything. He just says it's good. But it's still kind of nice
Yes,
to see him like kind of enjoy a game. But
it is. It
it's
is.
still D to me. It's still complete.
Okay.
But I had a question. When he played Hearthstone, is that a mobile game?
Yes. So it can be a mobile game, but actually, Lefty and I watched that with ALT a while ago. Um, that would go in the card category for sure.
Okay.
That's a card game.
Because I was going to say that might affect the ratings because I understand that one was pretty entertaining. So okay, so mobile games D.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. When he loses, he gets so mad. Yeah, he gets really pissed with that game, and he's playing on autoplay, like Uro said. It's
Yes.
I really scratch my head wondering why it is DSP likes that game. It blows my mind.
I think just because he's so it's the sunk cost fallacy. I think it's because he has committed so much money to it that he has to keep going.
It's sad, man. You could spend all
Yeah.
that money on a better game. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm good, Josuke. How are you? Next is 3D fighting games. So things like Tekken, Virtual Fighter, and Dead or Alive. Those specifically, kind of
Okay.
in that line. What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna put him at A, to be honest. And my reasoning is it's fun to hear him compare those games to things like Street Fighter because he considers himself a Street Fighter Chad, let's say.
Yes.
So he brings that smug arrogance, that confidence into other fighting games in the 3D realm, like Tekken and Virtua Fighter, and he thinks he knows what he's talking about. So the salt is just really fucking funny.
I would agree. I think that DSP brings his Tekken past into it to some degree because he talked about how I won a Tekken tournament against
That's
actual
right.
children, and which is nothing, man. Why would you brag about that? And I also heard that his Dead or Alive, this is how you don't play, is godlike in his salty rage. And both Tekken 7 and Tekken 8 were very funny. So yeah, I would also put it at an A. What do you think would keep it from being an S?
I think it's just DSP's inability to commit to his thoughts. Because he likes shitting on other fighting games other than Street Fighter, but he never quite goes full nuclear
Yes.
about it, except for Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear. If you go back and you listen to how he talks about Guilty Gear specifically, he fucking hates that game. But I think that has less to do with with Guilty Gear as a franchise and more to do with back when he was in the FGC back in those days. He just didn't like having to deal with the Guilty Gear players at the tournaments.
Yeah.
So I think that's where a lot of that bile comes from.
I think there's another element to it with the Guilty Gear where I know that DSP has this thing with masculinity. He has a very serious issue with it where he doesn't quite understand, fake masculinity.
Yes.
And he thinks that these characters, specifically anime characters, male anime characters tend to be rather thin and less stocky and built. And
Yes.
so I think he interprets that as effeminate or gay. And I've never understood that, but DSP clearly has some sort of fixation on this. And I think that could factor into it as well.
Yes. So my girlfriend calls it like the phenomenon of the pretty man.
Yeah.
DSP does not like looking at pretty men. So I think he'd rather look at ultra buff Street Fighter style dudes than some of the Guilty Gear characters.
Yeah, definitely. Characters like Kai sets him off. He doesn't know how to feel about it.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Oh well. I would say another thing that kind of holds back, and someone up here brought up in chat, a couple dudes, is that he doesn't have the same rage that he has for 2D fighting games. He does have a sort of cutoff where he'll eventually just kind of give up and pretend to not care, which I feel doesn't really happen as often in or at least in 2D fighting games. In Tekken 8, near the end, he was just ready to be done. He was, okay, I don't know how to play this game. I don't know the character knowledge. I'm done playing. Which I feel always sets something away from being S, is when he gives up, it's pretty much guaranteed to not be S. He has to stick through it and be furious the whole time.
Yes, because you can get some great pre-quit salt, but when he quits, it just becomes like a strange anticlimax. But I think in terms of 3D fighting games, one of the things I appreciate about watching him play 3D fighting games is that you literally do have that third dimension, and he's not quite sure what to do.
Yes,
When people are able to at times shift backward and forward, and he's like, "What?" It's really funny. If you watch him struggle with 3D space in a 3D fighter, it is genuinely funny.
it is. And you're kind of getting ahead of the game here because that's one of the things that I find makes some of his best gameplays is when he is put in a position where he has to account for the third dimension.
Yes.
And he has a really tough time with that. That's why he is better at 2D fighting games, because I'm not trying to shit on 2D fighting games, but there is less information on screen. You know, you don't have that third dimension. So he can kind of hack it.
Yes. Yeah, and I have to credit like my assessment of it to another person who has been in the Vortex, who is Vortex adjacent, Lord Thunder, good buddy of mine,
Oh,
who actually interacted with Phil when Phil was in the FGC, not a ton, but he played a few matches against DSP, and what he said was Philip has the most problem with spacing, whether it's in a 2D space or a 3D space. He doesn't understand where his character needs to be to keep the advantage. And you can absolutely see that doubly so in 3D fighters versus the 2D space.
I truly think DSP has something wrong with his brain in terms of spatial recognition. This
Yes.
dude is terrible at spatial recognition. I would be legitimately terrified to drive in a car with him. This guy will crash into things and just not see them. Which, okay, we might be getting ahead
Yes.
of ourselves here.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we got a few more genres to go before
Okay,
we
arena
get there.
fighters. Arena fighters
Arena
are
fighters.
stuff like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero or the Naruto series or like Budokai Tenkaichi, where you've got a big ass circle you fight in. Gundam Max Boost is an arena fighter,
Mhm.
basically. Uh, what are your thoughts on that?
I think they're fun to watch, and maybe that's recency bias because he's playing Sparking Zero now. And even the little I've seen of Sparking Zero, like his biggest complaint is this isn't even a fighting game. Like that's what he keeps saying. It's like this isn't even a fighting game, it's a story game. I'm like, yes, it is a story game.
Yeah.
And a lot of these arena fighters specifically are kind of not interested in being hardcore fighting games.
No,
They want you to mash, they want you to have fun, and they want you to see a story.
it's wish
Um
fulfillment playing.
yes.
That's it.
I personally would put arena fighters probably at A, to be honest.
Really? That's a lot
Yes,
higher than I would
yes.
put. I put it at B because I feel like not a whole lot of them are memorable to me. I know DSP has played a ton of arena fighters, and at no
Hmm.
point do I really hear a lot of people talking about how they were so good. Because you know, I do. I'm also basing this on what I've heard about people saying about franchises. I hear people bring up all kinds of games, but I've never heard anyone say, "Remember when he played Naruto Ninja Storm? Was it that
Oh
bad?"
yeah, yeah. That's true. In terms of stay, you know what? I would agree with you on B then, because in terms of staying power, I don't think they have a ton of staying power, but because they deal with some element of 3D space, I would agree with B on that. Again,
Okay.
I think I'm just having some recency bias because I watched him play Dragon Ball the other day and it was
Mhm.
funny. So
I think Arena Fighters also does something else where DSP, the amount of hilarity that you're going to get out of him is directly relative to how much he wants to actually commit to the game.
yes.
In Arena Fighters, he's always ready to be done with those games. He does not like them. He's ready to eject the disc and be done. And I think that also kind of shows when he plays Arena Fighters. He just doesn't care. And
Yeah.
I want him to care a
And
little bit because when he cares a little bit, he
he
gets mad.
what there is no worse thing to watch than DSP when he's checked out of a game. Like
Yes.
it is so bad.
Yeah, I want him to quit. I would like to tell him, Phil, it's okay. You can quit this one.
Yes.
Okay, vehicle combat. This could also involve Lefty if he wants to chime in.
Uh,
uh,
vehicle combat. I think for him it would more so be like the Twisted Metal games. So
yeah,
mostly Twisted Metal. Um,
I put
that's
Twisted Metal, and I
kind of what I
also
remember.
did he play Titanfall 2?
Oh God, he had to have. Let me
I
look it
think
up.
so, because I would almost count that as part of vehicle combat, even though it's mecha combat. It is vehicles,
Yes,
and
yes.
I'd also put in some ways Battlefield, even though Battlefield is a first-person shooter. But yeah, things
It
where he's
is
in
very
tanks or
vehicle like
vehicles.
Battlefield multiplayer is very vehicle heavy. Um, so yeah, I'd put actually well, yeah, vehicle combat. I'd be ready to put vehicle combat at A. To be honest, because there's a great playthrough of him playing a Twisted Metal game in like 2013, and I still remember him struggling not bumping into things because damage is a big deal in Twisted
Yes.
Metal, and if you run into shit, you're causing yourself damage. And he would end game himself just by ramming into objects in Twisted Metal instead of actually hitting his opponents with missiles and machine guns. So for me, I think vehicle combat would be an A. Actually would be S, to be honest.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, dang. Okay, I really don't have as much exposure watching his vehicle combat because I go through the vote every time I'm going green, and Twisted Metal has lost the vote 4 times in a row, I think. So I've never actually watched him play it, and I will trust your judgment if it's so funny.
Yeah, I think that there is a This Is How You Don't Play of Twisted Metal that he played in like 2013. It's good. I've watched it on like not on stream, but I've watched it just in the background a couple times, and it's fucking funny.
All right. Well, shit. Okay, so you put it on us. All right. And
Oh, Roachbait in the chat's bringing up a good point. Mario Kart. Mario Kart could count as vehicle combat.
it could, but since racing is the victory qualification, I put it as a
Okay.
racer.
Okay, got it, got it.
And
Okay, that's actually a good way to look at it. The win state is coming in first, not
yeah,
destroying the vehicles.
yeah,
Okay.
because then Diddy Kong Racing, are you saying that's the same thing as Twisted Metal? I don't know. But
Oh yeah, then you get into this whole what is the genre anyway kind of
exactly.
talk.
Can
Yeah,
I race
yeah.
with my tanks in War Thunder? I mean, I guess I could.
I mean, you could if Lefty was here, he would argue you probably could. So
Speaking of racing, racing games.
racing gotta be S.
Yeah,
Has
it's
to be S.
it's automatically S.
Like you can go back to anything. You can go back to any Forza game. You can go back to Need for Speed Unbound, which he played last year. Uh, it is just him not seeing corners, just not understanding when he needs to turn. Um,
It's that thing we mentioned. It's the spatial awareness. This racing games really do question your spatial awareness because you have to know, okay, that looks roughly 10 meters ahead. I should start braking now. And he doesn't have that capacity to make those judgment calls. He'll just
and
crash into the wall.
like it's not a racing game, but I remember a clip from his recent playthrough of GTA 5 when he was doing one of these street racing mini
Yes.
games, and he said, someone said, Phil, why don't you put on your glasses? You'd be able to see and win the race better. And he's like, well, I can't put on my glasses. You haven't tipped me $100 yet. And it was like this whole funny thing. So like any time that he's playing like a game type and something like that comes out of it, I automatically could. It was so fucking funny. He's like, well, if you tip me, I'll put on my glasses. Ack, 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 ack.
If you want me to do well,
Yeah.
and it goes in.
Great.
I know a lot of people's favorite This Is How You Don't Play. That could be like a poll people could do is just top favorite This Is How You Don't Play. Crash Team Racing. People absolutely love that playthrough. That This Is How You Don't Play.
I love it. It is especially good. I've watched it several times.
I've watched it while high, and I do really enjoy DSP's pure white hot rage during that
Yes,
game. That guy was getting
it's
fuming.
it's the rage that puts that over the edge because the mistakes he makes aren't even that bad of mistakes, and anybody that's played that version of Crash Team Racing knows that it's heavily weighted against the players, so it's
Mhm.
hard anyway. So his complaints are not invalid because unless you're playing on easy it feels cheap.
Mhm.
But the way he baby raged that entire time was god tier content.
Yeah,
It's
it was super
fantastic.
funny.
Yeah.
So I got a clip lined up from the also one of the greatest "This Is How You Don't Play This" of all time is Need for Speed Payback.
Oh yes, yes,
Need for Speed Payback, I would put there in the top 5 easily.
yes,
It's so funny. He's crashing this shit going 150 miles per hour and then screaming, "I didn't see that. There was nothing there."
yes,
And he gets kind of
absolutely.
racist sometimes too. Is really funny.
Yes,
And his anger and trying to negotiate with the game was really fun as well.
yes.
So we've got this lined up here. This is just
Oh,
a
and
race from this game, from this playthrough.
Wait a minute.
and can
what?
you share that screen in the
Why did
Discord
it start
so
so?
that I
Hold on.
know what you're looking at?
I thought I did. Let me see.
I didn't see it yet. I think you were sharing a different tab.
Here we go. You see it now?
Let me see. Let me make sure.
Yeah, because I got it set to.
I've got it now.
Okay, I've set it to capture the
Early,
whole
it didn't even-
monitor.
Yep.
Why did it start so fucking early? It started way earlier than the first race.
I love this game, by the way.
Oh
This is
my
one of my
God.
favorite racing games.
I've never
Problem is
played
this car has a
it.
way
It looks
better
really
battery
fun
Very
though.
than mine.
It's
That's
very
the
fun.
problem. See, I can't catch him. There's no way. I'm staying right behind him. I can't catch it. His max speed is way higher than mine. So there's no way I can ever win the race. Damn. Yeah, there's no way to win.
You have to upgrade your car accordingly. And
Yeah,
if you ever watch this say you don't
He
play, he doesn't even do the bare minimum.
He's way ahead. I have no
of
nitrous
car
in there.
upgrades.
and that's another thing I wanted to bring up about what makes the racing one so S tier is that he gets some sort of weird tunnel blindness with this genre because he does not accept that he has to do something to win.
No.
No, and it's a wild experience watching him play racing games, and it reminds me of why it is that I would never want to ride with this guy in a car.
Never.
I can understand why people shit on DSP for making John Rambo drive everywhere. I think that was probably the optimal solution.
Yes, it actually was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because this dude would be driving through playgrounds, hitting jumps. No, insurance nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, forget about Jack Doherty crashing his McLaren. You'd have DSP crashing his Toyota.
It would make
it'd be
national
terrifying.
news.
Yeah, it would. It would. Renton Man puts his car on top of the guardrail. That's,
Yeah, there you go.
That's exactly what it
And
would
then you
be.
got people making all kinds of memes of it because it starts sliding down the rail and people make the Tony Hawk noises as it's riding
Yes.
along.
Yes. Oh my God. If there was footage of DSP like crashing his car on the news, our best clippers like Snort Burnell and Mimology would be on that shit. It'd be so funny.
There'd be so many good ass memes to do of it. You could throw it in like a filter with world's craziest police chases, and you had John Burnell, different Burnell, doing narration over it. This scumbag thought he could make his getaway, and then he crashes and shit.
Yes.
That would be godlike.
Amazing.
So our favorite genre here is next, stealth.
It's got to be S for me. I can't not put stealth as S.
What's going down?
Given that I spent hours and hours and hours making stealth-based DSP content with Lefty, it has to be stealth.
Which I have some here, so let's witness
Yes.
some. This is, I'm just going to grab one. This is, you guys are enduring World of Assassination, the Dong Li Dilemma. Okay.
Yes.
Item on this map because you could use it. Expired spaghetti sauce is the best item on this map because
I
you
agree.
can use it as poison and as a throne. And it's really fun.
She's below me.
Isn't there expired spaghetti sauce
Just wait.
meme
It'll-
on this
it'll
level
come.
with like the
Okay.
guy who's making the spaghetti?
There
and
is
you
a
gotta swap the
fantastic
sauces.
moment.
Yes,
Great.
yes, that is a thing.
connoisseur. That's
You
great.
have to add the expired spaghetti sauce to the recipe, and the guy you feed it to is like, "Oh, this is so good," and the key ingredient is expired spaghetti sauce.
Keep punching him, Phil.
Here we
There you
go.
go.
Don't worry, we're just gonna save scum anyway.
And don't worry, that guy's getting
he's
back
not gonna
up.
follow this combat encounter to its conclusion. Dude, he's not knocking anyone out. He's just knocking them down.
Just endless loop. Actual like endless
You have to
loop
give
of
them that
him
extra
punching guys.
punch.
I had no idea that they were down there, so.
That was
Very
crazy.
good.
I had no idea. How was I supposed?
Like his lack of awareness, and like you've played Hitman. Hitman gives you the tools to be aware of things. That's what Hitman does.
It
But
gives you that vision
I'm
mode.
always astounded at his lack of awareness in stealth games. It's fantastic.
He really does struggle with it. It's the spatial awareness again. Because here's another example of DSP showing why he's bad at stealth games. Is because you have to have a sort of digital or mental map in your head of the layout. And DSP cannot do that. I imagine a DSP is easily lost.
Yes.
I imagine if you went with him to a convention, you would have to be guiding him around because he would just be wandering off. And I think that stealth games kind of show that, his lack of navigational skills.
Oh, you know what? I think so Chad is saying they can't see the clips. I think you're
Oh.
showing the tier list.
Okay, I am. Let me apologize.
On OBS.
We need to watch that again then. You guys have to see this. It was super
You guys
funny.
have
This
to see
was
that.
really
No,
good.
that's all right. That's all right. It's good.
This is I got to do a little bit of the
from
preamble,
right
so we
here.
got to set up. All right. Okay, so his target is right below him, right?
Isn't there expired spaghetti
Yeah,
sauce?
the target's
Sure,
there. The
full
target's
meme
right
on
below
this
her.
level
Let's see
with
what
like the
happens.
guy who's making the
Look at this, like,
spaghetti
drop
and you
right
got to
behind
swap the sauces.
This is
Yes,
great.
yes, that is
Look
a
at the
thing.
connoisseur, that's
You have
great.
to add the expired spaghetti sauce to the recipe, and the guy you feed it to is like,
And he gives
"Oh,
you a
this
prompt.
is so good," and the key
does.
ingredient is
Triangle.
expired spaghetti sauce.
Here we
There you
go. Don't worry, we're just gonna save scum anyway.
Yeah, he's not gonna follow this combat encounter to its conclusion. Dude, he's not knocking anyone out. He's just knocking them down.
Amazing lack
He
of
doesn't
awareness.
You have to give
Amazing.
them that extra punch.
One of my favorite
no
clips
idea
to
that
come
they
out
were
of
down
doing
there,
that
so-
series. I'm so happy.
It's a
I'm so
beautiful
happy
moment.
Lefty and I did that series.
It's beautiful. I love it so much. I think another reason why I like watching him play stealth games is it's one of those games where any normal person can see what's coming a mile away.
Yes.
And DSP is none the wiser, and he'll just walk right into it. That's
yes,
so fun.
and like the thing about stealth games that DSP would always argue against is that stealth games are designed to make you feel like a stealth badass as long as you understand the rule set. They're
Yes.
not very hard, you know?
No, they're not. And you're supposed to err on the side of always assume you're being seen. Always
Yes.
assume you're making a mistake, because then you become more careful. He doesn't do it. He just assumes he's invisible at all times. And
Yes.
as you'll see right here, this is probably my favorite stealth moment of all time of DSP.
This clip is amazing.
Not just this part, but kind of the build up to it.
Ah, this is fucking stupid. You couldn't see me from where he was.
This, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So what
Where he's just
are we
laying
looking
on the
at here?
floor.
A coffee table.
I don't know where I'm supposed
Yeah.
to go from here.
Your foot's poking out.
How could you have seen me? It makes no sense. I'm thrown in front of a table.
And the thing about Metal Gear Solid is it gives you almost perfect information about what you need to know to be stealthy.
Yes.
I've played probably hundreds of hours of Metal Gear Solid between 1, 2, and 3, and 5, honestly. But it gives you everything you need to know to succeed. It's all there. And Phil just doesn't see any of it.
Mm-mm. He has no accumulated memory. I also think that it's in some level DSP's lack of empathy. And
Yes.
he doesn't understand what other people could see, both figuratively and literally. He can't put himself in the eyes of the guards and say, okay, could they see me from here? You know? Yeah,
Yes,
your foot's
exactly.
sticking out.
If I were a guard, could they see me? I could just hear that. in his head.
I'm a logical human. I would mind my own business.
But yet, Len, he loves to say, "There's no way they could see me from there." How, like the game magically knew. He loves to say that the game magically knew I was back there. He loves to say
The
that.
game cheated, man.
Yeah,
You got another really good one from the Hitman one? Which one's your
they're
favorite?
all good.
They're
Pick,
all- okay.
pick any of them.
All right. This one is from...
That one's from Marrakesh. Oh, this one.
This one? Okay.
This one's great. This one's
Okay,
great.
security snafu.
Soda can in my hand.
What is happening?
Stay
I
on
haven't
your
done this
target.
kill before.
Okay, there's your dude.
This is a fun one.
Excellently done, 47.
So he gets to LARP and clean the vanity, right?
Okay,
He's doing
big
the
ups.
thing.
He goes to inspect the toilet, and the guard leaves, and you can drown his ass.
Ground zero.
See, the guard turns his back. Perfect opportunity
You missed
for
your
a
opportunity,
toilet
Phil.
swirly kill
Yeah, right there.
right now.
Right there. Go.
They're baiting him so hard. Is he gonna take the
He's
bait?
leaving. I'm gonna save again. His bodyguard's
Oh,
leaving.
you
Now's
noticed.
my chance to kill his
This is
ass.
like the interview that
Here we
got
go.
conducted, and then he just was the cameraman that conducted the interview.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was it.
Oh,
we
Lefty
go.
is
It's gonna be
referencing
great.
another legendary
Except
clip. by
this
the way.
time he's
Oh,
taking
okay.
some action.
Is that Jasmine?
Yeah, you got this, Phil. Take him out.
Drown
Too
his
late.
ass. Oh, he missed the
The-
opportunity.
the,
Can't
the
drown
thing,
him.
the thing about
You
stealth
missed
games
it.
with him
Pacify him.
is his
You can-
hesitance.
Yes.
Because he saw the opportunity. That's kind of the more telling thing about the clip. He saw the opportunity. Like his brain got so far as, oh, his guard is looking away. I can give him a swirly right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it just took him like 5 seconds too long
Yes.
to move. And same thing with driving games, actually. I swear his reaction time and like cognitive processing time is just a little bit too slow.
He shows a lack of parallel processing. Here's where I saw
His body-
DSP's lack of parallel processing.
They're
right
baiting
here.
him. Opportunity, Phil.
As soon as he starts walking away, I would have stopped cleaning and started moving in position.
They're baiting him
Yes.
But he doesn't do it. He
And-
does everything in static actions.
And and the thing is too, if you look, he turns 47 towards the guard that's walking out, pauses for a bit,
so hard. Is he?
says, I need to do this, then saves and does it. You're right. He cannot multitask when those types of situations arise. It's like, okay, I'm thinking about cleaning, then I'm thinking about the guard leaving. Now I'm thinking about killing the target, where he should have been basically calculating all three of those variables at once.
Yeah,
You know?
it should have been instantaneous. It should have been very
Yes.
seamless. It reminds me of something. DSP's kind of a Sims character. He has to follow through with his queue of
yeah.
actions before he can do the next action. You know, there's a house fire going on right now, but I really need to clean this plate. It needs to happen right
Yes.
now. And DSP's
And
like,
actually, if you ever watch him play The Sims, it's that. It is literally that. It is literally like his Sims DSP character getting lit on fire while he's cleaning the kitchen floor.
that's so fun. His Sims playthrough was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I like that Leanna was there too. I kind of like Leanna playthroughs where she shows up because
It can be fun for a while. It really can.
yeah, she can get really annoying, but it's what I do like is that she kind of pushes DSP forward in a roundabout way, and I like that. I like that she can keep things moving.
Well, she at least has a sense of, oh, he's lingering here too long. It's not entertaining. Like, Phil, move on. Move the fuck on, Phil.
All right, so stealth is S tier as hell.
Gotta be S.
I would say it's so good that even stealth segments in games, because I believe Bennett Jones brought up the Starfield stealth. Every single game that has some sort of stealth element, he hates it.
Yep.
And it's always
So
hilarious.
like DSP and stealth scenarios, period, is always entertaining.
What was that David Cage game? Fahrenheit. You
Fahrenheit.
played the stealth section on that. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Yes.
It was too hard.
Oh, his Fahrenheit playthrough is amazing.
I
By
haven't
the way.
watched it all the way. I've watched only little bits and pieces. I'm excited to see it sometime.
It's very fun.
So we got Souls next.
S.
Yeah, S.
has to be like stealth and souls are like two of the easiest S ranks, because I'll never forget, what was it, Dark Souls 2, where he got invaded and the guy was like chasing him through the hallway and he goes, "Oh, you know what? Fuck this. You want to fucking cheat, huh?" And he got up and he unplugged his Ethernet. He's like, now I can play offline. Like, it's so great.
I'm gonna be real with you. I really liked it when he did that. I thought it was really funny because that's how
Yeah.
I've been sometimes with Souls games. Like sometimes me and my wife will play Elden Ring together, and we're just kind of trying to explore and do stuff. And then people invade and start killing us. I'm like, oh, come on,
Yeah.
man, get out of here. And,
No, totally. I think of that clip when it comes to Souls because of the pure entertainment value and how relatable it is.
Yeah.
It's relatable because we've all been fucked over by invasions in games that allow it.
Yes.
So
always. I get more often than not. I just get annihilated by them because they've min-maxed their character so much. My goofy little dude doesn't stand a chance.
yeah.
It
there-
was Demon Souls.
I think it was. If anybody knows the clip in chat,
Yeah, because I thought it was the monk boss that
hit
he
us
had
up.
that happen with. Well, I think he,
there was. See, I remember a clip of someone like chasing him through a hallway and him being like, "Oh, you know what? Fuck this. I'm unplugging."
Hmm.
There's also in a fairly recent playthrough of Sniper Elite 5 that has invasions in it, and there was this one dude who just kept invading his game as enemy counter sniper, and it was really funny.
Dude, I need to watch that. It sounds really good. Sounds funny as hell. Yeah, I think that there's no question with Souls. I think that Souls also is very much like a spacing kind of game because you're always trying to maximize the amount of space that you put between your opponent, but also make sure that you can get in and hit them. And DSP can't do that. He'll panic roll 30 miles away and then get mad that he can't swing on the guy.
Yes.
It,
Also, I remember so many quotes from Souls, like when someone was telling him, Phil, your chat's helping you too much. And he looks at the chat and he goes, people in chat are saying you're helping me too much. I haven't looked at the chat in 100 years. Like, that's so funny to me.
It is. It's good stuff. There's a ton of really good quotes in the Souls games. There's tons of good meltdowns. I haven't actually watched this Dark Souls 2 playthrough because I can't. My wife and I are playing that game co-op, and there's no way I'm going to have him expose me to the extent of the game.
No, I hear you.
And I hear that he had that big-ass rant about Dick Lightning and that's where we get the whole point of games is to make creative builds, blah, blah. And the irony being that he didn't even make the build.
Oh, Dr. Karkan is saying, "Why am I toxic?" is a Souls quote.
Yes. Well, I'm toxic. Well, I'm toxic now. Those are
why
all
am I toxic? Yeah,
best quote. Players quote. Why am I toxic and sorry for fucking water? My favorite DSP quote.
Yeah, sorry for fucking what?
Because I've been there, man. Sorry for what? I'm not apologizing.
Yeah.
What's your favorite boss fight of all of the Souls games?
Oh man, Tree Sentinel. I mean,
Tree Sentinel was hype.
I mean, I'd have to go with Tree Sentinel because he put himself through that. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
He could have come back later, but he put himself through that.
Yeah, and he bored his viewers to no end because people wanted to see the world. They wanted to see him run around and do stuff, not fight the first boss for 45 minutes. It wasn't entertaining. You know,
yes,
that's what I was there for. When I watched him, I don't think I had played it yet, and then I was watching him just kind of fight this one dude. I got annoyed. But my favorite boss fight is this one right here. You see on screen.
Sekiro. Yes.
This boss fight, even though it's relatively not a lot of people point to this fight when it comes to the Souls games with DSP. But what I really like about this fight is that it encapsulates one of DSP's biggest issues with this game is his lack of spatial awareness. And this boss is hard. He's not easy. He's not really a pushover. But DSP makes it 10 times harder by just not paying attention to where he's going.
Yes.
There's a level 2.
We're going to skip ahead a little bit. Let's get to the fight.
Oh, what?
And this is a very long, extended fight sequence. I think this lasts for 45 minutes almost of him fighting this dude.
Oh, good lord.
And he doesn't ever learn. He doesn't learn that he can't put himself into walls and fight. Like right there, no spatial awareness. You were way too close.
I can't see him.
Yeah, the biggest issue in games like this is you need space to retreat to. And if you put your back to a wall, you're fucked because the enemy's your enemy's gonna press until you can't block or parry anymore, and then you're done.
I had no idea
Exactly.
he was gonna attack me. I thought I
And he
could've
only
fucking
goes
fly.
backwards. He never dodges in forward diagonal directions. He doesn't try and get behind them.
And the thing is, you're more likely to force an opening if you dodge to the side than back. Dodging backwards does almost nothing for you, except for maybe avoiding damage if your timing is right.
Yeah. So he fails the first couple tries, and then he starts getting really angry when he plays, and that's when the hilarious mistakes start happening. Like right here, where he's putting himself in walls. And you can see the room. When I'm playing these games, I'm looking at the room and saying, okay, I don't have a whole lot of space to work with here. Here's where I'm going to be positioned. Here's how I'm going to move. DSP's thought,
These
I just
ridiculous,
died.
a bunch of flying kicks.
Yeah, it's never like,
crazy amount of
even
flying.
like, I've been playing Death Stranding the past few days, and even like, I fucked up a lot in that game, and whenever you or I or somebody else die when streaming a game, we're like, hey, what could I have done differently? Let's think about this. And then we change our approach. DSP just slams his head against the wall until he goes through it. That's always his tactic.
Eventually I'll win. Eventually the game will just have to let me
eventually.
win.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. All right, 2D platformer. So things like Sonic, Aladdin, Mario. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, this might be a little bit gimmicky, but I would put 2D platformer at S because we would have never gotten the I Am Fucking Sonic song without a
God.
2D platform. And I adore that song so much. I love it. I love it. It's funny. It's funny because of how cringe it is.
You and I are gonna have to agree to disagree on that. I found that song.
Okay.
No, but it's cool. That's a good reason. So it would definitely be a personal connection to the 2D platform.
Yes, because I found that song so funny that I would put it at S. But that doesn't mean that our combined vote has to be S. We can negotiate this for sure.
Dude, I'm kind of on the opposite end. I find them C's. I find DSP is extremely boring when he does platformers.
Really?
Yeah. While he's just kind of bad at his spatial stuff, especially with save scumming. Save scumming really ruined a lot of platforming games for me.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because there's been a lot of re-releases of like the NES and like SNES Castlevania, and they all have save states, and that just ruins it.
Yeah, exactly. There's no stakes at all. Part of the stakes of platformers is that you fall and you have to do it all over again. He removes all that, so they're really boring to watch. And he's not so good at them that he can kind of shut his mind off and talk about other stuff. So it's just him glued to the screen trying to nail small little jumps. And I just find it kind of boring. But
yeah, so you were saying D? Yeah, probably. You know what?
I was going to say C.
Okay, C. I think C is fine. I think the only reason why I would put it S is because I like that one stupid song. It just tickles my brain the exact right way. So
have you ever gotten like some remixes made of it? Man, you got to personalize it.
Oh man, I should make a remix of that song and have it be like a Taken L's intro. That'd be really fun.
You could I would love to see different permutations of it. What if you could have like I don't know, a ska version of it or something, or
a choir version of I Am Fucking Sonic,
Gregorian chants.
Yes, throat singing version of I Am Fucking Sonic. Yeah,
there you go. You can make that work
with AI. Anything is possible.
All right, so and our tier list can obviously deviate from each other. Like for example, honestly, I wouldn't have put vehicle combat at S, but you sold it so well. I'm like, okay, let's throw it on there.
Yes, I think if racing has to be at S, I think vehicle combat also has to be at S.
I need to watch more. I need to watch that Twisted Metal one.
Yes, it's good.
So what about 3D platformers? What do you think of those?
Oh, also about speaking of Twisted Metal, this is like on topic, off topic. Air Lord conducted kind of an interview with Leanna in a Twisted Metal 2013 lobby.
Yes.
And it's just them talking over the Twisted Metal theme, where it's going like dan and it's really funny to listen to. And
sounds
like
good.
He's asking her like, "What games do you like?" And it's really funny. If you haven't watched it, I recommend it.
I should check it out. That's kind of a funny gimmick, though. I should do interviews in game lobbies. All right, so you guys load up Army of Two on your Xbox. I'll interview you there.
Load up Army of Two on the Xbox 360 because that's the only place it lives.
Yeah, there you go, and we'll interview there. I'll get the headset. You get your headset. It'll
yes, absolutely.
That's actually kind of a funny gimmick. All right, well, I'll check that out. What do you think of 3D platformers?
3D platformers. I would say A, at least A or B for 3D platformers.
Yeah, I would say these are a little bit higher than 2D platformers because there's the extra layer of difficulty, the third dimension. And
yes, and his reactions to people kind of roasting him about 3D platformers are funny. He's like, "Well, I'm not 9 years old. I don't have time to be playing this difficult game for hours and hours and hours. I just need to get through it." Because his chat was saying like, "Oh, I beat Jack and Daxter when I was 9 or whatever." And he's like, "Well, 9-year-olds have time." Like, there's just some great rants that came out of 3D platformers. And well, you've seen the Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, This Is How You Don't Play.
Yeah,
they are incredible.
Have you watched Sonic Adventure 2?
Yes. Sonic Adventure 2 is like, yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 and any of the Insane Trilogy, the Saito plays for Crash Bandicoot are fucking god tier. I think this has to go at the top.
You
3D
say
platform.
S or A?
I'm talking myself into S because for Crash Bandicoot especially, he was trying to perfect all 3 Crash Bandicoot games in that trilogy, and he was driving himself actually insane doing it, and it's very fun to watch.
I need to see it. I've only seen the first one. I watched the first one.
Oh,
the other day.
okay.
Also, there's things like Ratchet and Clank. While they're not technically entirely platforming, platforming is a huge component of Ratchet and Clank. And I would say that was really funny watching him try desperately to do things while shooting. So even the platforming elements in other games are good. And Donkey Kong 64, as Void says in the chat, one of his best playthroughs ever.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm putting it at S. That sounds great.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. I'm getting surprised by this tier list because I didn't think we'd have this many S's already. I think I can only think of 4 S's, and we just got 2 additional ones. That's
yeah,
cool.
because we talked about this a couple weeks ago, like when we were thinking about when and where we were gonna do this, and we kind of just said Stealth, Racing, and Souls were S's, and now we're that number's going up.
I'm gonna add an S. I think our next one, GTA style open world, is an S. What are your thoughts?
Because it combines so many of the things we already sort of touched on. GTA especially because it's driving and shooting, and his commentary with GTA especially has been a problem. Like we have GTA as the place where he said, well, he's a black guy, so he's gonna be trouble.
He's had some really funny ass moments in GTA games. And I would even go as far as to say, like, GTA adjacent, like Saints Row, I consider that kind of the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
I would consider stuff like True Crime Streets of New York, which he hasn't played, but things like that, True Crime Streets of New York.
I would love him to play Streets of New York. That would be a great game for him to play because, open world crime game starring a black character.
Oh, yeah, he's got plenty of things to say about
amazing.
that. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of wish I could get like have you ever seen the Onion movie?
No.
It's really not worth seeing, but if you do get the chance, watch it. Well, there's a kind of reoccurring joke around the movie where they have, while the movie is going, they have this council for the advancement of black people. It's this civil rights group for black people. And they're constantly criticizing the movie for being horrible, for presenting black people in the wrong way. And I just want to see those dudes watch Darkside Phil and see them say, we haven't seen any good representations of black people on your stream, Phil. We're going to do a walkout.
Oh yeah, we need a diversity audit on DSP streams. Yes,
I want to see it. That'd be really funny to me, especially if DSP found out about it. He'd get super mad. But I got a clip, probably one of the best clips from San Andreas.
San Andreas.
Oh, there you go. You got some slurs.
Yo, he drove off the bridge.
Ryder's getting shot.
Oh my fucking god, he killed himself! Ryder killed himself. Why did they do this? Why do they put in these... What?
It's just the funniest shit. Honk, boom, dead.
Oh my fucking god,
I mean,
he killed himself!
I would attribute that death to DSP more so than Ryder.
Yeah. Ryder was just following orders. All right, I'll throw it.
You're in charge of driving.
This is not showing. Hold on. Well, we got to show it because it's really funny. I apologize. I messed that up. So this is the scene I'm talking about. And Ryder killed himself was a pretty funny quote for a while too.
Yeah.
What? Oh my fucking god, he killed himself!
I also
killed
really like
himself.
this era of DSP
Why
because
did
he would just full-throated scream.
Yes.
He doesn't really full-throated scream at stuff anymore.
No.
I don't know if maybe his voice is too fucked up or maybe his neighbors talk to him because he's in the middle unit, but he doesn't do this anymore, and I kind of miss it.
No, me too. I love this era specifically of Dark Side Phil. That's probably my favorite couple of years either side. Where DSP, I don't know. I thought he was kind of cool. He just got drunk and played GTA and screamed at Ryder. I thought it was fun.
To be honest, at that time in my life, I said to myself, that seems like a pretty cool fucking setup, like for your life. You just drink and play video games all day. That sounds cool as fuck.
Yeah,
But
record it.
Then years later, we realized who Darkside Phil actually was, and we're like, fuck that shit, man.
No, he's a piece of shit. He's a horrible person. DSP
Yeah.
should have just stayed as a drunken clown.
Yes.
I don't know. But also the GTA style open world is also as responsible for one of DSP's most infamous playthroughs of all time, and that's Scarface.
Oh, yes.
Scarface is legendary, and so automatic S tier with that.
Yeah, I agree.
And what are some other ones that are kind of that? I know that he played Red Faction Gorilla, and I haven't actually watched it, but I want to watch it sometime.
I have not either. I think I might have skipped it because I love Red Faction Gorilla. I think it's a great game.
It is.
And there are certain games that I don't want to watch DSP play, and I think that was one of them.
What are some other ones?
Well, I would have said Hitman, to be honest. Like, before Lefty and I made that Hitman series, I was like, I'm never fucking watching Phil play Hitman. Then I watched Phil play Hitman and realized how much fun it was to watch him play Hitman.
Yeah.
So I would have said like Red Faction games, Mercenaries like games. I didn't want to watch him play,
Really?
and then Hitman. But I've actually come around on that in a big way. I don't think there's any genre I don't want to watch him play these days. But back in the day, I never wanted to watch him play Hitman.
No, that's weird. That's wild. Yeah, I'm not in the camp of I don't want DSP to play certain games, especially games that I loved and grew fond to. I think that we all have a natural version, like, oh, I don't want to see him disrespected. But a lot of times, DSP makes me respect the game even more because it was able to filter his dumbass, but not me. So that's cool. Yeah, and Mafia 2 with Leanna, another legendary. This
Oh my god, she calls him stupid so many times in that playthrough. It's so funny.
It's one of the best. It's one of the best playthroughs ever, or best This How You Don't plays ever.
She is just fucking done with him that entire playthrough. She just wants him to finish the fucking game.
Where was a part or something like where he said, well, this happened, and she said, didn't happen in my playthrough, maybe it's just you.
Yeah.
And he just goes silent.
So great. Yeah, like she dissed him so hard constantly in that playthrough. Really good one.
All right, MMORPG. He really hasn't played a whole lot of them.
I would put it at C because it doesn't deserve to be on the bottom. But he really hasn't exposed himself much to them. The only good thing is when he played WoW Vanilla, people found him and they killed like all of the early game ads, so he couldn't level up. And that's funny, but that has more to do with like trollish intervention than how he genuinely would play the game. So it gave us a few funny moments, but I would only put it at C.
You read my mind, Logan. That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, well, it was really funny that he couldn't play the game. I would have liked to have seen him play it and get frustrated just organically.
Yes, I prefer, like, as much as people love to stream snipe DSP and like people would still try to do it in like Call of Duty and stuff today. I usually tell people let DSP like play the way he wants, quote unquote, for a while, then stream snipe.
Yes,
him,
Yeah, and also I think that in some ways stream sniping just to immediately antagonize him, I feel like that's a wasted opportunity. Sometimes you can stream snipe him and kind of get him to do dumb things, like signal towards stuff and be like, hey, use this, here, drop a weapon for him, and the weapon sucks or something.
If I had an opportunity to befriend Phil in an MMO, I would.
Yeah.
Because you really could manipulate him to do stuff and it'd be really funny.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you can take that boss, man. You just need this blade. It's got secret stats.
I'll be with you the whole way. Don't worry about it.
I'll heal,
No,
man.
no.
I'll cast healing.
No, all you have to say is like, no, you go in first. You're streaming, right? Oh, if you're streaming, you go in first. The
Yeah.
stream's gonna want to see it. You go in first.
We don't want to take the cutscene. In fact, or
Yes.
just straight up outright lie about how the game works. But like the cutscene won't play for us. So
Yes, it only plays for you. Yes.
yeah, but it's definitely wasted opportunities because it's at sea. We haven't done anything with it. I would love to see DSP play those games.
Yes.
They would be very boring though, because they're already kind of menu simulators sometimes. DSP would just be
Yes.
in their inventory managing for 2 hours. That'd be pretty boring.
Like DSP playing EVE Online would be the worst.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. I think that would
EVE
actually
Online
kill
would
people.
EVE Online would be the only MMO that would be terrible. That would be the only MMO I would tell him never to play.
Yeah.
Because EVE Online is fucking cool, but it would not be cool the way he plays it.
No. I would get mad because I would want to see some sort of spaceship action, and this dude would be dicking around in menus for 4 streams straight.
The thing about EVE Online would be though, like, I don't know if you've read into the IRL EVE Online lore, but like, if people get mad at you in EVE Online enough, they go and they disconnect your power to your house so you can't play. Like, that's literally happened where
Holy shit.
people have disrupted like utility services so a certain person can't play because they're like, fuck this dude. And that would happen to DSP.
It would.
if you played EVE Online. The EVE trolls would find him 100%.
Oh, so it's a good thing you can't play. Well, now I really want him to play it. So a infamous one here, 2D fighting games. What are your thoughts?
A.
A?
Yes. A, what are your thoughts? Is it A, or I'm assuming it would have to be A or S for you?
I would say A. And the reason
Okay.
that I do have reasons why I wouldn't go to S.
Okay.
And
let's hear your reasons, because I might have very similar reasons, to be honest.
with DSP's complaints, there is a certain threshold that DSP doesn't breach with fighting games. And that is that DSP will scream and yell and punch his controller like crazy when it comes to 2D fighting games. This guy goes nuts so bad, I think he's going to have a heart attack. However, there's always this kind of like cap as to what it's about. It's just him losing in the game. We never have Ryder killed himself moments. We don't really have these opportunities where something could go so catastrophically wrong for him and he has no idea how to deal with it. The most you ever get is like a double perfect and DSP just completely goes nuclear. But I just feel like fighting games almost as a genre can't bring out full DSP rage.
I think they can, but only with something else added. Like, for example, we got the Bubbles rant because of Street Fighter, and that is a legendary rant that I don't think will ever get old. But again, that wasn't the game itself. That was the game plus chat kind of nudging him. I think 2D fighters have a lot of potential, but I don't think they'll ever get up to S, in my opinion.
And you bring up a good point because it's like you said, it's the other things happening. DSP does get in a very specific mood with 2D fighting games that he doesn't get in with a lot of the other games, where he bans that one dude a couple months ago for saying that the Cammy was good. And I was quite floored by that. DSP, to his credit, normally doesn't ban people who give praise to the opponents. Normally, he'll call you dumb sometimes, and he doesn't do that with other games. He has never stopped and said, "Oh, you think my opponent is good? Get banned." So yeah, 2D fighting games do bring something out of them.
This is just an aside. I would love DSP to match with Six Erican and something. That would be very good.
Too.
If we could have a side-by-side edit of their streams, that would also be very good.
Yes.
Because I think they both have amazing fighting game cope in their own way.
Yeah.
So to see those two things combine would be a sight to behold for sure.
It would be really funny. I'm not sure who would be the winner. I guess it really depends on the game. If it's Street Fighter, dude, Six Erican doesn't have a chance. Six Erican sucks at Street Fighter. But if it's, say, Sparking Zero or Tekken, I think Six Erican's got this. He's not bad.
Yeah.
He's just stupid.
He Six Erican's whole gimmick is that he's just he's a bad loser, but it's not like he's not good at the game. It's not like he doesn't have some level of skill. Where with DSP, it's a little different. DSP is a has-been, for lack of a better term. there were a couple versions of Street Fighter that he was good at, but he just doesn't evolve. And
Yeah.
that's his problem.
He gets mad about it, and he tries to play games like Street Fighter 2 Turbo. He uses a lot of the same spacing or mechanics, which, dude, Grandpa, it doesn't work that way anymore. Things have changed. And I think that's why he gets so frustrated. I would say that's why he likes Street Fighter 6 so much, is because it's probably the closest we've had to something like Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo in a while. That it's pretty simple to understand. He can get his head wrapped around it. But I wanted to address something. M. Bode here is saying fighting games are S+ in my book. And that's the other component with this, is that 2D fighting games isn't just Street Fighter. He also has played King of Fighters, and he's also played he didn't play DNF Duel, but he's played various fighting games that were 2D. And those were pretty
much... Played the Marvel Capcom collection.
Yeah,
there's more than just Street Fighter. Yeah. And I think people just think of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Street Fighter is not the whole genre, which is why I wouldn't put it at S, to be honest, because the only time he's really firing in a very entertaining way is Street Fighter.
Yes.
I don't find any of the other fighters he's played entertaining, to be honest.
No, King of Fighters, he was ready to be done with that game. He was done, and he was moving on, and he didn't even really get that mad about the game. He just got kind of annoyed that he was losing. He also played Fighting EX Lair. Does anyone remember him playing that? No, it's not memorable. He's played a shit ton of fighting games and unceremoniously dropped them, and you would think that would make more of an impact, but it really kind of doesn't. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, he played that, and it's like, man,
that's right. He did play Grand Blue. Yeah.
I think A is the right place to put it. And I feel like that's kind of a shock to a lot of people, because I think that a lot of people would put that at S rank, and I completely understand that, but the genre as a whole, it kind of drags down a little bit there.
I think for fighting games we have a great quantity of salt, but I don't think the quality of entertaining salt is as high as something like Stealth or Souls or Racing. You know?
Yeah, I don't find myself laughing my ass off as I did with those other ones. DSP hiding behind a coffee table is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, it's very good.
Visual novels. What are your thoughts on this? So I guess stuff like Telltale games and stuff like that.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't find those very entertaining with how he plays them, because it's very much on rails, and DSP is not good at spicing up the on rails experiences.
No.
So for me, this would be at the bottom, to be honest.
D?
This would have to be a D. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that we did get some interesting rants during some of them. I know that apparently I'm just going with what people have told me in stream chat, that he had some pretty interesting rants during Life is Strange.
Yes.
And so those kind of things I always want to put a little bit higher, but there's so many games that he plays that are visual novels that are just put me to sleep, and I can't watch them. And
he doesn't and I think that comes down to his like overwhelming lack of empathy for people.
Yes.
Because in order to stream a visual novel and make that interesting, you have to be able to empathize with the characters and synthesize what's going on as the streamer. And he just doesn't.
No.
He's just like, oh, that lady did a thing. Cool.
Yeah.
And like that's
what an
that's
idiot. Everyone's stupid too.
What an idiot. Yeah.
Everyone
Instead
makes
of being
dumb
like,
choices.
oh, this character is contemplating end gaming themselves. I wonder why, you know?
Instead, it's just like, do it, net. That's not.
Do it. Jump off the roof. You know.
And that also includes, I would say, some of the David Cage games are very much visual novels.
Oh yes.
And those games were those games he did have some funny rants in. So yeah, I could put it at D, but I would almost put it like D+, where it has potential to be kind of entertaining sometimes.
It does, especially David Cage games, because David Cage, if you read about the man, he has a very similar narcissism to DSP and doesn't understand the art he's making whatsoever.
He doesn't understand why things are good.
No, and he's asking, like, especially, I don't know how familiar with Detroit Become Human you are, but with Detroit Become Human, he's basically asking questions that Blade Runner already answered. And it's he's not doing it in a very interesting way. I like playing through Detroit Become Human because I think a lot of the performances are very strong, and I think the weird jank of a David Cage game is fun, but he doesn't understand why that type of story can be good or compelling because he focuses on a lot of weird, like psychosexual things that you
Yeah.
can probably just leave at the door, to be honest.
Super Best Friends did a really good breakdown of some of their best playthroughs are when they made a challenge to go through each of the David Cage games, and they're all
Oh
really
my
good.
God.
They're all
That is a
really good.
marathon.
Definitely highly recommended. I think that their best playthrough ever was Omicron the Nomad Soul. They were
Okay.
starting to actually lose it there near the end. They were like, this game is so bad and it's so painful and it never feels like it's gonna end. And they talk about it with David Cage, and that David Cage is deep to high school dropouts.
Yes.
High school dropouts think that is the deepest, most profound shit they've ever seen in their life. And I think Wooly said it one time. It's like, dude, if you actually watched movies that are good, you would not be impressed by these games.
Yes, exactly. It's like those dudes in high school that saw Fight Club and they're
Yeah.
like, this is deep philosophical shit. And it's like, well, no, actually not. It's a story about an incel with schizophrenia. Like, yeah,
They just
that's
start
it.
swinging.
It's not that deep. Like, come on.
I think my favorite part about that movie is spoilers for Fight Club. After it
Spoilers
turns-
for a 25-year-old movie, by the way.
I know
So.
some of you may not have seen this masterpiece.
To be fair, it is a masterpiece.
It is a good
great
movie. I
film.
liked it.
It's great. Yeah.
My favorite part, though, is after it's revealed that Tyler Durden was in his head the whole time, and then it goes back and recontextualizes some of the scenes where he was interacting with Tyler Durden, or he thought he was. There's a scene where he's there in the parking lot just kind of swinging and flailing his fists around. He was supposed to be fighting Tyler Durden, and then people
it's
saw
so
it and got
funny.
inspired.
It's so funny.
Would you do that?
Or like when he like was supposedly like tussling with his boss in the office, it's just him putting himself through a table.
Yeah.
And that's really funny. You know?
There's something about a guy flailing his arms wildly in a parking lot that does not inspire me to join his cause.
Yes.
So-
And the fact that people did the fact that several men saw him doing that in the parking lot is like, what the fuck are you doing? How can I do it?
Yeah, this guy seems cool. Let's join him.
Makes the context of it that much weirder.
Yeah, it's goofy as
Yeah.
hell. It's a fun movie.
Really fun movie.
So open world is next. And open world, I'm thinking stuff like Legend of Zelda, the those kind of games where they're not
Okay.
necessarily GTA kind of open world, but you could even say something like, well, I wouldn't say Red Dead Redemption is this. That's more of a GTA style. But-
Yeah, I would honestly just put Red Dead Redemption in the GTA genre
Okay.
at that point. Yeah. Oh, I think I think the Zelda games are the best examples,
Okay.
to be honest.
So what do you think?
A,
A?
I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Open world also gives us, and I would even say like Fallout is kind of open world.
Oh yeah, Fallout.
Open world
I would call Fallout, especially Fallout 4, more of an open world game than an RPG,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I would say so. I'd say Skyrim's an open world game. It's hardly really an RPG.
Yes.
But open world games kind of do the same thing and we'll get to it as battle royales, where it gives him lots of downtime to just kind of talk about things. And I feel like we get
Yes.
some good spicy stuff out of DSP when he's just kind of running around. And it enables him to complain as he's running around. And that gives us some pretty interesting things. All of his rants in Legend of Zelda, they're just him running around yelling at himself. And that's good content. I love it.
Yes, and like we've been talking about Death Stranding, I would also put Death Stranding
Yes.
in that same genre because, and him playing Death Stranding is especially good because you played it a little last night. It's just walking from place to place mostly.
Not complicated.
So there's a lot of time as he's walking that he's just talking about random shit, and that's when he can potentially be the funniest he's ever been.
Yeah. I want DSP to talk. I really want DSP to just air his thoughts. Because after we get past the first couple subjects that he wants to discuss about how all the detractors can eat his shit and we're all evil, then he'll start really talking about things that matter to him on a deeper level. Like, I wonder how my parents are doing or stuff like that. I want to hear that.
Or like I want like you get little glimpses of it. Like whenever someone asks him during Q&A like, "Oh, are you and Kat do you and Kat go into Seattle much?" He'll start talking about crime statistics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I want to hear him talk about that shit more and more and more cuz that's funny to me.
it
You
is.
know?
I do think DSP should do more discussion stuff, but I just know it'd be bad because all he would do is just talk about the trolls for 4 hours straight, and I don't want to hear that. I want to hear
Yes.
tell me about what's going on with your neighbors. You know, tell me what happened at the grocery store. Tell me what
Yeah,
happened.
like how did the checkout girl wrong you, Phil? Tell us about that. Tell us
Yeah.
about that.
They put the little divider thing on the wrong side and included some of your food in their order. It was so
Oh, yeah.
unprofessional. The person should have been
Yep.
fired. You know, I get you, Phil. Tell me all about it.
Yeah. Karen side Phil is very entertaining.
It's so good. And you know
Yeah.
he doesn't do any of this shit. You know in public he is meek as hell. He does
Yes.
not if you order tomatoes and tomatoes are not on that burger, he's going to eat it anyway.
Like that like that college professor he supposedly made cry. It was definitely the other way around.
Mhm.
He's like, "I yelled at this professor so bad he cried and left the classroom." It's like, "No, that was actually you. Actually, you got screamed at by the professor and you ran out crying."
There's an episode of American Dad where that exact thing happens, and I feel like DSP is that sequence, and exactly as you describe it. In the
Yes.
episode, Stan assumes that Francine went through something, but then later on it turns out that he went through that thing and just recontextualized it in his memory as though she had gone through it. So he didn't have to deal
Yes.
with the pain of it. Yeah, I can
And-
see DSP doing that.
And I think DSP does that. DSP will take stories he's heard either from the limited people that he's talked to or stuff he's seen in pop culture, and he will project himself
Yes.
onto that scenario, into that scenario. And that might have been one of those things, because you're right. That is exactly that sequence from American Dad. So who knows? Who knows?
I think his story where he was talking about how people pulled a knife on him in college, that wasn't real. None of that was real.
No,
None.
no way.
He pulled a laser sword on you, Phil, and thankfully because you knew Kung Fu. Yeah, okay, just lie to me more, Phil. Make it more
If
funny.
anybody pulled the knife on me, I'd go for their windpipe.
Yeah,
Which is a great quote.
He's
Go
Riccio.
right
He's putting holes in people's body.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, beat 'em ups. What do you think of beat 'em ups? Stuff
Uh,
like Double Dragon and stuff like that. I don't think that he's played that many of these.
No, I mean you can kind of call some Yakuza stuff beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
In a way, but
Yeah.
but not exact. I would call Yakuza more of like open world RPG at this point.
Yeah.
I just don't know enough about him. I'd probably put him in D.
Yeah, same
for-
here.
for
I
lack of
actually
context.
can't recall any beat 'em ups he's played. I was thinking maybe he played one on. Can anyone in chat name off any that he's played? Like maybe during like a Halloween special or a marathon
I
of some
think.
sort?
Oh, he played one of the Turtles beat 'em ups, didn't he?
Okay.
Yeah.
He played Sifu.
And
Yeah, that's a
those
beat 'em up.
were dog. Oh yeah, he did for the Cowabunga pizza party. Cowabunga. He played one of those, and it was dog shit. So D.
Okay, D. And Bode, how was his Sifu playthrough? Is it still D?
Oh my God, Sifu! It is very fun to watch him play Sifu. If you haven't,
So does
Watch
that make it go up
that
to C
to-
just because of Sifu?
yeah, put it up to C. Because yeah, you could call Sifu a beat 'em up. It basically is.
He rage quit Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage 2 is hard, but yeah.
C seems acceptable.
What about open world RPG?
S. I would find it very hard not to put that in S.
So what are some
Because
examples?
as we say, anytime you give him empty space, it's fantastic.
It is. You're doing
So
that.
it would be
you're doing
your
Deus Ex,
Skyrims
right?
and stuff like that. Yeah, I think Deus Ex, even though it's not like strictly open world. Wait, do we have immersive sim on this list? Because if we don't, I think open world RPG would be a good place to put immersive sim. No, but
Not
so we could-
exactly.
yeah, I think we could put it A or B.
Okay.
Open world RPG, because anything with open space, Phil is just going to overshare on, and oversharing DSP is the most entertaining DSP.
Yeah, I think that also open worlds give him. He's scared of freedom.
Yes.
He is scared of the limitless potential of where to go. When I first played Fallout 3, dude, I nearly ejaculated in my pants because you had this whole environment you could just go places to and explore them and do missions. DSP, the whole time he's playing open world RPGs, he's terrified. What do I do? Where do I go? Who do I need to talk to? How do I progress the story? I'm like, dude, you're not getting the point of the game. And
Like, I remember when my brother and I got Oblivion for the Xbox 360, my brother's save file was just him fucking around. He didn't touch the story once.
No.
He just fucked around and he loved it. So
unironically, I forgot about Sean when I was playing Fallout 4.
yeah,
They told me about it later.
Your
You gotta
whole
get your
thing is
son.
you're supposed to find Sean.
Son,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? I don't have a son. Oh, I do.
He's 75 years old. Ooh, spoilers.
He's fine.
Yeah.
How about roguelikes?
I think.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about his roguelikes. I've heard that his games of, say, like I don't think he played Dead Cells, but games like that, he gets very frustrated with how he can't actually progress in a meaningful way, which is kind of the point of the game. It's just supposed to be something you try over and over.
And he doesn't understand that, like, you're supposed to lose.
Yes.
Like, the point of a roguelike is you're supposed to lose, get beat up, and come back smarter. Like, the game wants you to learn how to do better.
Yes.
And get better. And I think Sifu is the same way for him to an extent, because Sifu punishes you a lot until you literally get good at the combat.
Yes.
And I think Phil wants the game to tell him how to win, and roguelikes are more interested in telling you what not to do and having you intuit what you're supposed to do, and Phil can't do that.
No, he can't.
So.
And he gets so upset about beginner's trap, which is a horrible complaint that he has. And roguelikes are nothing but beginner's traps. I'm playing that one Darkest Dungeon. Dude, I can't make any sort of progress. I'm getting my ass kicked every day. But I figured, okay, that's the point.
Yeah, like Darkest Dungeon, you are just going to get absolutely clapped for your first however many runs. But eventually the game will click with you, and you'll know who to take into the dungeon.
It looks fun. It's a fun game.
It is fun. It is rewarding once you get past the difficulty curve. And I think difficulty curve is a thing worth talking about, because DSP, if there's any difficulty curve, he baby rages. He doesn't see it as an opportunity to overcome a challenge. No. He just says, why is this way? It's too hard.
It's an obstacle.
Yes.
He sees obstacles as, well, like losers and quitters see obstacles, which is what I was told in school, Obstacles are to be climbed over. And DSP will just look at an obstacle and say, I guess I'm not going this way.
Yeah. It shouldn't even be there, man.
Yeah, actually, this was bad programming to put this obstacle here.
Yeah.
What about horror? I think this one's going to be a divisive one for people. What do you think about horror?
I think horror games are, I think they're C or D, to be honest. Because,
okay.
And I'll give you my rationale for putting them so low on the list. He doesn't commit to being scared.
Yes.
And there's nothing worse than watching a streamer stream a horror game who refuses to be scared. I hate it. Like, I'm going to shout out my friend, the Decepticon. If you ever go on his gaming channel and you watch him play horror games, he just fucking screams the whole time. And that is the funnest thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
So.
And he always looks at everything so binary. He looks at people like PewDiePie, and that is one response you can have, is to just be fake scared and screaming your ass off. Or you can be like Phil and be an obnoxious asshole during the whole game. He doesn't see it as anywhere in between. And I would also, I am in agreement. I think horror are some of his worst games he's ever played.
Yes.
Because it's exactly as you described, a refusal to get scared. And also, he just doesn't even really talk that much when he plays them. He's very goal orientated, so we don't even get funny rants that he could go on, because he has to be so vigilant or whatever.
And like so many horror games are fun because of the atmosphere, and he refuses to get lost in the atmosphere. Which is, it's frustrating, man, because horror games are so fun, especially this time of year.
Yeah, he has no right playing those games. He just doesn't respect what they try to do. So yeah, I'd put that in D.
Like you were watching what were you watching last night? Until Dawn. Him doing Until Dawn. He wasn't getting himself invested in any of the characters.
No.
He wasn't having fun with any of the horror movie tropes. He was like, he was just like, I don't like this person. He's a bitch. And then he was talking about like Hayden Panettiere's breasts or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, he's just the worst.
No, it's his desperation to be, because I do think that he wants to use humor to get himself out of scary situations, which I completely understand.
Yes.
I tend to do the same thing. I try to joke myself into a positive mental state.
Mhm.
And but this dude, he's not even funny. So he fails in his, because if that's going to be your approach, okay, I'm going to play a horror game and joke throughout it. Okay, you better be funny.
Yeah, like humor is the most natural response to being scared. We all make humor out of things we fear. That's
Yeah.
kind of how humor works. But DSP isn't funny,
Yeah.
so it doesn't work.
He's not equipped for this challenge.
No.
Here's another divisive one. JRPGs. What do you think?
I'd put this pretty low, to
Same.
be honest.
I think there's some of his worst content.
Yes, and because DSP he says, and he said it last week, I love JRPGs, man. I love JRPGs. But when he plays them, he's so boring. He's so boring.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing redeemable about a JRPG playthrough. Any Final Fantasy game, dog shit. Metaphor last week. Metaphor is a great game, by the way. I watched other streamers play it, and it looks fucking rad. But his playthrough is shit.
Yeah. I would say also, weren't his Persona ones bad as well?
Yes. Partly because he kept complaining that the videos are going to get claimed because it was an Atlas game.
Yeah, he
So
cried about that a lot.
he like JRPGs or anything that's like music heavy, he cries about content ID so much, and that deflates the entire playthrough. Where like I stream stuff on my monetized gaming channel all the time, but I don't. And I was playing Death Stranding, and that has a ton of content ID music, but I don't give a fuck. I want people to come by and hang out. I'm not going to complain about the music for you, but that's all DSP does during those particular Persona playthroughs. If you listen to them, really bad.
I'm probably never going to get memberships on my channel because every other video I have is claimed for copyright. And for me, to me, the choice is, do I want to have not this stuff and get money, or do I want to enjoy these things that I like to enjoy? And the answer is to enjoy the things I like to enjoy. I don't give a damn. I'd rather, if it were up to me, I would be watching copyrighted content all day. It'd bring up all kinds of shows. But
dude, I'd be watching B action movies on YouTube. I'd be streaming them.
You guys want to watch kung fu movies?
Hell yeah!
You're gonna love this one. It's called Five Elemental Ninjas. It's a silly ass movie. That's a good movie, by the way. Yeah, but Kapathic did bring up a good point, along with some others, is that we do have some pretty funny rage quits from JRPGs, and we've had some pretty funny meltdowns from JRPGs, such as the charm and everything. So that kind of makes me want.
Oh yeah, Persona 3 had a pretty good rage quit, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'll put it at C.
Actually, yeah, that deserves at least to be at C.
Yeah, because if you can give us some good ass moments, which if you look in the D section, I can't really think of anything that I've had a good ass moment from those genres. Not really.
True.
Okay, action RPG. So I guess what would an action RPG even be? Because I pulled this list
like
off of
Dragon's Dogma.
I guess so. Dragon's Dogma, or I would almost consider. Well, you'll yell at me. I would almost consider Deus Ex an action RPG because you can kind of choose to just go bananas.
Yes. Especially Mankind Divided, the second one.
Yeah.
That becomes more of an action RPG where your choices matter more instead of leveling everything up.
Yeah.
So yeah, action
Yakuza
RPG makes sense.
Well, in that case, that's quite a range. So yeah, we got Yakuza, we got Deus Ex, we've got, well, and you could even really put Fallout in there again. Because Fallout's kind of an action RPG.
Especially Fallout 4. Like Fallout 4 might as well be action RPG. A tier.
I would say A.
And I say this because I'm in the very slow process of making a Deus Ex This Is How You Don't Play, and watching him play Deus Ex is very entertaining
It
to
is.
me
I
specifically.
watched you do that one stream of it. He's holding up boxes to try and deflect things. He was trying solutions. They weren't good solutions.
He was doing the Deus Ex solution. We're like, that is a valid solution in Deus Ex to stack boxes and shit. We've been doing that in Deus Ex for decades. But the way he was doing it was the most DSP
Yeah,
way
he has a
possible.
gift. He has a gift
Yes.
of messing up optimization. So yeah, I would say that's an A. There, and we've had plenty of good rants from action RPGs. We've had plenty of moments of him screaming at him. Yeah.
Oh, people are saying Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is a good one,
Yes.
and we've gotten some great moments from Kingdom Hearts as well.
We did. We had banning the chat.
We had the Leanna meltdown, the sub-only mode meltdown. You could stop arguing with my girlfriend. That's a great clip.
And Leanna returns in another action RPG. She returned in what was it with the big booty girl?
Nier Automata.
Nier, yeah.
Yeah.
She was
This'll
showing up.
remain a man-only zone. Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, that was such an embarrassing moment. I think that was one of the DSP moments where I really think DSP just turn your camera off, man.
I think you were talking about it last night where they should have just cut the stream.
Yeah, they should have.
Were going to fight like that.
Yeah.
They should have just cut the
If we're gonna
stream
have an
and
argument.
sorted it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the stream's already ruined, man. Because people are going to be talking about that. Turn-based RPGs.
Oh God.
So that's a bit more Final Fantasy, but also I think it could extend to other games too. I'm not really sure.
So the only turn-based RPG that I watched with any seriousness him play was Final Fantasy X. And it's a great playthrough but not for the playthrough itself. He talks about grinding his characters for 4 hours a night and falling asleep while doing it.
That's
which
fun.
Is a chef's kiss touch to me. Because Final Fantasy X, if anybody's familiar with it, it's not a hard game. It's not a particularly hard
It
game.
doesn't look hard.
But and I love it. It's one of the games from my childhood that I absolutely love. But he talked about leveling for 4 hours a night and falling asleep with the controller in his hand. That is just, it has nothing to do with the game, but I put it at least a C.
Yeah, because it's
Turn-based
part
RPGs.
of his playthrough. It's something that enabled that out of him. And
Yes.
Dom brings up something very important. What about Baldur's Gate? Baldur's Gate would be
Oh
on the
yeah,
turn-based
Baldur's Gate, perfect example. Yeah, the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough felt like old DSP
Yes,
playthrough to
it
me.
was the closest we got to old DSP in a long time. And
So actually, I would move it up to S, to be honest.
S? Whoa.
For Baldur, because we got rants about how a spear is not a projectile. We got rants about how a certain party member should have given his stuff back before leaving the party. He fucked a bear. So much legendary
There's some good stuff out of that one.
Yeah, like for it would okay. I'm willing to go down to A for turn-based RPGs for that, but Baldur's Gate 3 was pretty damn good. I watched that entire playthrough of his, which I almost never
need to
do.
watch it.
It's so good.
There is something that might adjust the score as well, and I believe I don't remember who brought it up. Pokemon is a turn-based RPG.
Oh, Pokemon is a turn-based RPG.
So how would that factor in? Because his Pokemon streams, while we did get some great ass rants, such as my viewers are fucking lazy,
yeah,
they're also extremely boring, and
they are.
I can't watch his Pokemon playthroughs because it's just him naming Pokemon's just random stupid shit out of chat, and there's never any funny stupid shit.
Oh, and you know what? You mentioned earlier on, are there any games you don't watch DSP play? Pokemon, because I'm a 34-year-old guy who likes to still play Pokemon games. So
That's what's up.
every time I see DSP playing Pokemon, I would rather turn on my Switch and play it. So that's usually what I do.
Yes,
So
he's
you
bad
know.
with it.
Yeah.
He just doesn't make it interesting. And Pokemon is super fun. Pokemon's interesting
Yeah.
as hell. And how do you fail that? So I would feel like that would detract from the score some. But I definitely agree with you on Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate probably is what saves turn-based RPG from just being D.
Yes.
So
I'd be okay with it being like a B or C, as long as it's not at the bottom.
yeah, okay. I would say B. I'd say
Yeah, but like Baldur's Gate did save that one from the pit for sure.
Yes.
Because oh my god, so many memes came out of Baldur's Gate. Amazing. We got a bear fucking song from Wolverine doll because of Baldur's Gate. Amazing.
Man, that was so fun. That's so perfectly on brand for DSP. He spends the
Yes.
whole game dodging women and then forgets that There are also dudes, Phil. You-
And the game just assigns him a romantic partner, which is great. I love that the game did that. It's
Divinity
like,
2.
well, you didn't pick any of the ladies and you didn't choose a specific man, so we're gonna assume you're gay and into bears. So great.
So what's this? Jinx has brought up per Divinity 2. Divinity 2 also. So let's throw it an A because Divinity 2 also had some very funny moments. where he-
Yeah, and Divinity 2 is in that same Baldur's Gate rule set,
Yeah,
so
you're
it
right.
would make sense.
That's got to push it
Yeah.
up a little bit. What about real-time strategies?
RTS, that's got to be D. I don't know.
I would. I'm gonna
Would
go.
you would you have it higher than D?
I want it higher than D,
Okay.
but it's D.
I can't because the thing is, I know he sucks at RTS, but I can't think of anything fun about RTSs that he's played.
Exactly.
I mean, we got some good clips from StarCraft, but overall, I don't find any of his RTS playthroughs that watchable.
100%. You took it right out of my head. I find that RTSs. I'm looking at the entire rest of them here. I would say that RTS is going to be the most depressing D I think there is because I think DSP could potentially be really funny with RTS.
Yeah,
And he just doesn't play him. Because this dude, he has such a horrible ability to manage things. He just doesn't know how to deal with it. So I'd love to see DSP play, Halo Wars or something.
Yeah, even something like Halo Wars, something fairly basic. Like Decepticon and Misery Merchant are having me learn Total War Warhammer 3.
Oh wow.
And that is a game that forces you to commit to learning systems, like very complex systems. And I'm struggling with it. We're playing every Friday night. I'm struggling with it. I'm getting crushed like a baby, but it's fucking fun. I'm having fun losing at that game.
Yeah.
And I think DSP for a lot of complex RTSs, you have to lose before you learn how to do things correctly. And he's a bad loser, which makes it boring to watch.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I see what you're saying there. Debater says he was flirty and joking with male approach, but rejected right away any female party members. So the guy had high romance values and ended with the droid. Yeah, because he can joke flirt with his dudes. Yeah, man, I'll suck your dick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because
Okay.
DSP does like to flirt with guys in games for the meme.
He
So
likes it.
he did do that a couple times in BG3. So the game acted on it.
Yeah. And people in chat are bringing up a good point about the Starfield one is that it was entertaining, but I still kind of think it should be D because we just never got any more. And that kind of sucks is that I would love to see DSP play Ruse. I think it'd be really funny.
Yes.
Never going to happen.
Ruse would be fantastic, or even some of the more modern remasters of Age of Empires. Like even to see him go back to something like Age of Empires would be really funny.
Yeah. And he does have a sort of skill. I wish he didn't have this skill. He didn't have it as much back in the day, where he can figure out, oh, I do not like these games. I'm not going to play them. Whereas old Phil would be like, all right, guys, I'm back from GameStop. I have, StarCraft. I guess I'll play it.
Yeah, he used to buy everything. He used to just buy everything.
It was kind of beautiful. I liked it. I wish DSP would just play more random crap. But so yeah, I'm gonna throw that on D.
Okay, agree.
What do you think about third-person shooters?
Third-person shooters.
So it's stuff like Max Payne and stuff. It's not open world. It's not.
Yeah, Max Payne, and even you could. I mean, they're all in a shared world, but you could count Control in that category.
Yeah.
You can count
Gears of War,
Alan Wake, Gears of War. I would put them at probably a B.
Yeah.
Because I watched his Control playthrough on stream not long ago, and it's very funny to see him struggle as much as he did with Control, because Control, you shoot a pistol and you have magic mind powers. It's not very complicated, but he struggled with it so much.
No, man. I need to watch that one. I remember watching some of his Gears of War gameplay, and it's pretty boring. But he does have some pretty funny moments every once in a while. But yeah, in general, I agree. They're not very high tier. They're pretty mid. And I'm not exactly sure why that happens. Why it is that he doesn't have the same kind of energy in those games as he does in some of the other ones.
Because a third person, like especially Max Payne, like if you think about how cool Max Payne is, it shouldn't be hard to make a Max Payne game entertaining, especially 3. Like as much as people like to poo-poo Max Payne 3, it is a fun-ass game to play, and the shooting feels good even to this day. So
I need to play it, I guess. I never played any of them. They were never available at my Blockbuster.
1 and 2 just got remastered recently. Well, 1 and 2 are available on Steam, I think, and they're workable, and 3 still runs well. So any of them are good.
I'll check it out. So you'd say B? I would say
B,
so.
yes.
Yeah.
Middle of the road. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
And Mass Effect, yeah, Normal Jinx brings up Mass Effect. Yeah, Mass Effect had a lot of funny moments, but it's kind of weird that I don't really remember much of them. I don't really remember much from DSP playing third-person shooters, but I do just remember that they were funny. So
And again, Mass Effect, he would flirt with the male characters.
He loved
Again,
it.
he has a habit of just flirting with male characters, ironically, because actually Mass Effect did a similar thing where he got matched up with one of the gay male crew members, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And it's like, "Well, DSP, you were flirting with the guy, and he ended up with you. Hello?"
Look, he was saying "suck my dick" in as a joke, not as an invitation.
Well, that not to derail and get like too psychosexual, but I see why people like to say that he's closeted gay,
He
because
does. Yes.
hates looking at boobs in games, but loves flirting with dudes. You know.
And the big old sweaty man thing. I'm thinking maybe that's just what he likes, man. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. And PPP's striking resemblance to his wife is
It's
suspect.
working out, man. It's working
Yeah.
out. It's everything's coming together.
Yep.
What do you think of survival? So games like Ark or Daisy and stuff like that.
I just don't think he's played many
No,
actual
really.
survival games that much, unless you want to count Minecraft, but he played it on creative mode.
Yeah, I have Minecraft as another genre.
Okay. I would put survival in D, because I just don't think I've seen him
Me
play
neither.
survival games. If anybody has any survival games, shout them out in the chat, but I just haven't seen him play any.
And none of them's memorable.
No,
I know
he played The Forest. Because I was
Yeah.
talking to someone that said, "Oh, he played The Forest," and The Forest is a hardcore survival game. And Pal World.
Pal
Dom
World
is
too.
mentioning Pal World, which is technically a survival game.
Oh,
Still
I'd
D tier.
yeah, I'd still say deer. Because he never
Yeah.
does anything interesting with these games either. Like Power World, he never went out and explored and put himself in danger. He doesn't engage with half the things you can do in a survival game.
Yes.
And I think it's not so much that he avoids it, he just doesn't think about doing them.
You want to push the systems to their breaking point. That's where survival games get fun. That's why I like Hitman, because you can fuck with systems and kind of break them. Death Stranding is kind of similar in that way. Once you get a little further, you'll know that. But anything where he has to fuck with systems and like manage meters and stuff, he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. But that's the funniest stuff. That's too bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd put it at D.
Yeah, D.
Survival horror. So Resident
Survival horror,
Evil,
so
stuff like
yeah.
that.
I'd put that at probably at B.
Yeah.
Because it is entertaining to watch him play Resident Evil. Because he is just so weird and awkward about everything that happens in a Resident Evil story, but he doesn't do enough to it to elevate it.
1 second. Void said he played Terraria. How did it go? Was it funny or interesting? I don't remember him playing that at all.
Yeah, was there anything? Because Terraria is definitely a survival game. But how did he play it, and was it funny?
I don't remember. I no recollection of him playing that. But along what you were saying with Resident Evil, I think that it's another one of these situations where if it wasn't for Resident Evil, survival horror would just be a D. Because most of his survival horror games are boring as shit. But when he's screaming at monsters and not figuring out how to kill them because he doesn't place the mines right and stuff, that shit was so funny. Him putting down the controller and refusing to play until people told him how to win. Resident Evil that.
The fact that so he played one of the Resident Evil 4 remakes recently, and he would brag about, oh, I played this game 3 times on stream, whatever, and he would just be missing major guns.
Yes.
Like he missed a shotgun towards the beginning. So it's very interesting, and I find a lot of entertainment value in that, watching him play a game that he's confident in and still failing.
Yes.
And I think for me, Resident Evil 4 Remake specifically was very much that, like how he struggled in the beginning to get past the first part because the bell didn't ring. And then he said, well, Kat and I watched another guy, and another guy did worse than me. He has this weird complex about Resident Evil where he has to appear good at it. It's similar to Street Fighter.
It's weird. I guess because it's such a popular game and that, you want to be cool for liking this game. But it is a very visceral feeling, because I did that the other day when I was playing Neo 2 while high, which was my first mistake. I shouldn't have played it while high. And I was just getting my ass kicked. And I say all the time how much I love that game and how I'm so good at it. And here I am, I just get bopped. And I can understand how that gives you a little bit of anxiety, because I swear, guys, I actually am good at the game. You guys just don't believe me. And DSP doesn't know how to deal with that. Well, thank you. And DSP doesn't know how to deal with that anxiety. He gets cranky.
So that is kind of a meta layer to why it's good to watch him play certain genres, is because people are going to accuse you of being bad at a game all the time. I've streamed Hitman for hundreds of hours. People are always saying I'm bad at Hitman, and I probably am. But every other streamer would be like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. Believe me, I'm good. It's fine. But DSP is like, don't ever say I'm bad at a game. You're banned. You're banned. He can never have fun with people saying he's bad at a game.
Yeah. People tell me I'm bad at games all the time, and and you got
me. It's true. Sometimes we're bad at games. It's true sometimes.
So we got to the special one, Battle Royale. What do you think?
It's got to be S, right?
Okay.
Because it combines things we've already talked about. It combines third person and first person shooters, combines open worlds, combines stealth to an extent, but also he just kind of talks forever about random bullshit, and that is some fun DSP content.
Absolutely. We've gotten some legendary rants out of this dude while he was just running to the circle, talking about how Tevin should be in jail for all the things that he's done. Former mod pissed me off. This dude did this.
My wife is a swimsuit model. Yeah.
There's only one bush I'd land into, like that.
It's my wife.
Yeah, that's such a vulgar joke from Phil, and I hope she appreciated it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's such a weird way to talk about your wife. I would understand if you were in high school talking about your girlfriend, but being like a 36-year-old man or whatever he was at the time, or I think 37, 38 he would have been 37 by the time he married Kat. To talk about your wife that way in your late 30s, ugh. It's cringe, man.
It's gross.
Yeah.
And even the gameplay, outside of his rants, the gameplay is pretty fun, because DSP, he's always put in these positions where I could have killed him if I did this, I could have done this, and he has a really hard time dealing with that, because sometimes shit just happens and you weren't ready in time. You didn't have your gun pointed in the right direction, and it happens to all of us. But DSP does that PR speak where he has to convince you, no, actually, I'm really good at games. This game just sucks. And that always cracks me up.
So I have a setting. I have a saying about Call of Duty Battle Royale specifically, where if I get shot and I don't know what's going on, I just say to myself, "That's Call of Duty, baby," because sometimes you just get got from a certain direction, and it happens in Battle Royales. And DSP could never take that in stride, and that's so funny when he baby rages over getting shot.
Yes. And it'll be situations even when he should know it, and he's still just completely baffled. He ran out in the open and got shot from 6 different angles. Well, pick a killer. They all contributed.
And in the rare event he will watch the kill cam, he'll say, "That's not what happened on my screen," and those are especially funny.
Yes. He starts accusing the game of conspiring against him.
Yes. They didn't want me to win. He'll start saying stuff like that. Like the game is sentient.
The game is programmed to hurt Phil, which would be hilarious if that's actually ever true. I kind of want to get into the game's interest. Like, do you guys got a system against Darkside Phil? We do. It's called the
We
fuck with
do.
Phil syndrome or system.
We absolutely do.
If you had to watch one for an hour nonstop, would you rather watch Wings or Phil? Well, I watch Phil all the time, so I guess Phil. It seems easier.
Yeah, if I'd rather watch Wings, I'd be watching Wings. Would be my answer.
Okay, I think I may have messed up here on my list because I actually have Sandbox on here twice. This one doesn't need to be on here. The next one is going to be rhythm games. So like,
Oh,
he did those dancing games, and
You know, I would put that as S tier because we got Dragula sound clips out of that. We got we got Dragula, we got Howard knocking over a camera, I think. Rhythm games are infinitely fun to watch him play.
yeah, because he gets up and does stuff. Because that's the other thing is that DSP's not just a weird person in terms of the things he says. He also just moves around weird. He's just a weird dude all throughout. How he always looks like a cryptid, just kind of lurking
Yes.
about. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, okay. So you were that confident that it would be S because I haven't actually
Yes.
watched any of his rhythm stuff.
I think it's S because it's a rarity. It's a rarity to see him try and sing or dance or like play a plastic instrument. So anything that's kind of novel
Yeah,
tends to be entertaining to watch.
yeah, because DSP will have to learn how to do what he's doing, and DSP learning is a funny experience. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I can see that. And we got a lot of S's here, a lot more than I thought we were gonna have.
Yes.
What do you think of card games? I really need your help here because I haven't watched him play any.
So card games, I think by themselves would be maybe a B, because he's only played a couple of them. However, there is an amazing blackjack segment in one of the Yakuza games of him not understanding blackjack and raging at it and save scumming, and it's fantastic.
Which Yakuza?
I want to say Judgment. He's playing blackjack. Piece of Peace has an amazing clip of it on his channel of DSP just save scumming blackjack.
That's so
and
funny.
blackjack is one of the more simple card games you can
Yes.
play. And DSP didn't get it. So
Didn't he also get pissed on one of the Dead Risings because he had to play blackjack? Or am I misremembering something? Because I remember in one of the Dead Risings, you had this dude who you could only get his items from by playing him in a card game, and I feel like I remember DSP getting pissed about that. But might just be fake memories.
that's probably true. There are gaps in my Dead Rising knowledge. I only played the Dead Rising 1 demo on an Xbox 360 demo disc, and that's all I needed.
What?
So yeah, I know. I was talking to Decepticon about it, and he's like, "How have you not played Dead Rising?" I'm like, "Well, maybe I need to fix that because the remaster just came out."
1 and 2 are really good. 3 is okay, but you start noticing that it's falling downhill.
I watched DSP play Dead Rising 2, and that was my exposure to Dead Rising 2. That's a great playthrough, by the way. The Dead Rising 2 playthrough. It's got Chicky Chang Wang. It's got a lot of good racial humor in it.
Yeah, he's pretty wild on that one. Yeah, he gets beaten up by that tiger.
Yes.
That tiger
Oh my
fight was
God.
so funny. We need to make a list of DSP's best boss fights because that one is one of the
that
best
should
ones.
be another tier maker. Best boss fights. Oh man.
And my favorite part about it is he's winging that steak and bouncing it off the cat's head. And just
Yes.
Why doesn't he love it?
What the fuck, man? Yeah.
Let me bounce cheeseburgers off your head, Phil, and see how you like it.
Such good rage.
Yeah, that's a good one. The other thing in card game was that he did play a card game briefly in the Final Fantasy VII reboot. There was that card game.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed it. I really had fun watching him play it because I was trying to learn how the game worked and DSP could not get it. And then he started getting angry because the game wasn't letting him win properly. So I feel like card games, even though there's been relatively few that he's played, it's always been kind of funny. So I'd put it
I think they're like a B or an A then. If we can include card game mini games within other games, I think
guess we
it
kinda
makes
have to.
like a B.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I tend to like card game mini games. Like, I'm the weird dude who in Star Wars Outlaws spent like 20 hours playing Kessel Sabacc and like nothing but Sabacc
I was
because
playing
I like
Pazaak, man.
I like weird. Well, so I was having the Pazak argument with someone else. Because again, in KOTOR, I would just play Pazak all day. That's what I would do in KOTOR. So yeah.
Did he play Gwent?
Oh, Timothy, yes, Gwent in the. Oh my God, Gwent in The Witcher 3, legendary baby rage about Gwent because
should we
Gwent
boost it up?
It's so there's a very short. This is how you don't play Gwent. It's like 20 or 30 minutes long.
I
We
gotta watch
can
it.
watch some of it. I can see if I can find it.
I gotta. Okay, so you know what that over, and this is one of those game types where I really wish DSP would play more of it. I along
Yes.
with real time strategies, I wish DSP would play more card games because I'm not trying to sound all brainy to people here, but there is a certain intelligence to playing card games. You have to have a good understanding of what I can do, what can my opponent do. What it is a strategy.
I
And
found Gwent.
It
I'm
is a
sending it
strategy
to you
that
in
DSP
Discord.
cannot do, and I want to watch him play. I want to watch him play a game of Commander. It would probably be the funniest shit ever.
Oh yes, yes it would.
Especially old Phil. Old Phil playing Commander he'd be making slurs. He would say, "Oh, you're using the chess guy." Well, you know what they say in China, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Comedy
exactly.
gold. You found it?
Yes, I sent it in
All right,
Discord
let's
DMs.
see this. Went DSP experience. I missed this titling system. The DSP experiences bugged X mechanics. We need to bring that
Yes.
back. Someone needs to bring that
We
back
do.
as a title system.
Again, bugged mechanics was a meme that DSP came up with. We did not come up with that.
No,
He
it is
did.
a good one.
So,
I kind of
yeah.
like it.
Yep.
Because, bugged mechanics, dude. I did everything right.
Yeah.
Okay, one
It's
second.
time for another good idea, bad
There
idea.
you go. Let's see.
Good idea.
Gwent specifically was a struggle for him because it's a deck builder. Anytime he's got to build a deck, he can't.
Yeah, you can't do this. Because you also have to have layers of strategy and deck building. And he doesn't have any layers of strategy. Okay, so we're bringing in... I probably can't watch the whole thing of this, but I really want to.
No, I would say skip around a bit because this is the
Garbage
other person's
deck.
gameplay.
Damn.
You
Okay.
got to see his.
Okay, let's see DSP.
Northern
Okay,
Realms faction ability trigger. North draws an additional card. Your turn.
he's cheating.
And I was the North, so I got an extra card.
Big ups, man.
Of course, now he has it. Wait a minute. Oh, you're not supposed to play more cards. I get it. You only have a limited amount of cards, which I didn't know. How the
Yeah.
fuck was I supposed to know that?
Yeah, I know, DSP. They're setting up for failure.
I'm screwed now. I have no cards left.
Yeah, you get a limited number of cards per match, and DSP didn't know that, so he just played them all.
What a
I
hero.
didn't realize you use all your cards in one round.
I would love to see DSP play Magic.
Your
I would love to see
opponent
DSP
won. No
play
shit.
Yu-Gi-Oh! He would get super
I'm
pissed.
screwed.
His normal
DSP
PC.
and Boogie should have a Magic match.
It's over.
They
There's no way I
should.
can
That'd be
win.
great.
I didn't understand that you can only get the set amount of cards
Like,
for all
dude,
rounds. That's
Lolcow
fucking
Live
stupid
should get Boogie to
Just
teach
forfeit.
DSP Magic. That would be amazing.
You must win it back.
Dude, at least then he'd be spending his money on
Margrave
something
Vladimir de
tangible.
Grey.
Yes. Imagine if
Okay.
DSP gets hooked on Magic. Oh my god.
All right, so this is a real match. The Gwent Tech deck builder.
Oh, no, deck building. Okay, this game's
Gwent players
impossible.
use their own customized decks. Use this panel
Does
to
anybody
manage your
know?
deck.
Has he played Slay the Spire? Because
You build one
that
deck for
would
each
be
of
a
your
fantastic
factions. Oh
game
my
for
god,
him.
this is too complicated.
DSP, use your dragons, man.
Grants an extra card after every victorious round. Squatel
DSP secret summon.
decides who takes the first turn of a battle, and monsters keeps a random.
Man, this
card
is
of the
really
battle
funny.
from
Okay,
top
I gotta
each
watch
round.
this later. That's gonna go on the queue
Yes.
list for. All right,
but it's there. It's there if anybody needs it.
all right. So card game goes high tier, and another wasted opportunity because DSP needs to play more card games. Gwent is not a very deep game by itself, but you need to stick with the concept of strategy. I mostly give up the second round to build in for third in the clutch.
Yes, you have to commit to a play style in Gwent. Once you commit to your play style and master it, you're good. You're
Yes.
fine. It works.
And DSP, he doesn't know what works, so what he's going to do is he's going to build a deck, it's going to face resistance, and he's going to assume the deck is just inherently bad.
Yes.
And
Yes.
not how you go through that. You
These
try-
cards suck, man. What do I do?
Blue
Yeah.
white sucks as a color combination. No, it doesn't. You're just bad.
Yeah.
So this next one, I don't know if DSP did any of these in its grand strategy. Things like
Yeah, so that would be like Stellaris and
Yeah, Hearts of Iron and stuff.
Civilization.
I think he
Yeah.
played Civilization, but I really have no real memory of it, and I don't hear anybody really bring it up. So it could
Yeah, there definitely was a Civilization game that was on console and he did play it, but I would put it at D because neither of us remember it.
No.
So
Yeah, and he hasn't also played me. I would love to see I would love to see DSP play Hearts Iron 4, but might be the record for shortest DSP playthrough. I can see him quitting that in 5 minutes.
Yes.
Because when I started up the first time, when I first saw what all stuff I had to keep track of, I almost quit. I thought, that's a little bit extreme. Sandbox, Minecraft.
It's got to be S, right?
Got to be S. I was thinking A, but S would be good.
I think for the same reason that that open world RPGs and not open world, but basically for the same reason that Battle Royale is S.
Yeah.
You get a lot of downtime where DSP just talks about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about Marl during Minecraft. We knew about Marl because he told the story during Minecraft. He talked a lot about the DJ Runo falling out during Minecraft. He talked about Gamer J Lee. He revealed so much information about so many weird characters in the Vortex during Minecraft.
Yeah, I would say it was a lore heavy genre. We get a lot of DSP lore from him playing Minecraft.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anytime he's able to overshare, I'm good with it. And Minecraft was a situation where he did a lot of it.
I was finding myself excited for Minecraft streams. When I first started getting into DSP, those were the streams that I was most excited for because the gameplay was not obtrusive enough for DSP to get really that caught up on it. And exactly as you said, he would just find himself riding around in a boat talking about people who wronged him. That was fascinating to me. And
yes.
It's just
like
good.
The closest to a slice of life DSP thing we've ever gotten is Minecraft.
Absolutely. It's me hanging out with Phil. This is what he's telling me about as we're driving around, you know?
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about DJ Rudo? I fucking hate that guy. Tell me all about him.
Yeah.
I wish we could get more Minecraft streams. We probably wouldn't get anything of this caliber anymore because he did kind of stop talking about some sensitive subjects, or rather stop talking about things just off the top of his head as much.
I mean, we talk about his failure to learn all the time. I think by now he has learned the things he should or shouldn't talk about. So those days are gone, unfortunately.
Yeah. But definitely definitely got some good stuff out of that. What about looter shooters?
Sure. Looter shooters. So
like
examples would be
Borderlands, Destiny.
Okay, yeah. Borderlands, Destiny. I think Borderlands was Borderlands the game that he tried to stream and capture on PC, and he was like, "This PC's 11." Was that Borderlands or Rage?
I think that was Rage. I don't think that was
Rage. Okay, I always confuse the two.
Borderlands.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any memories from him playing Borderlands or Destiny, really, other than he called it Borderlands, which is funny to me.
Yes.
Borderlands.
Didn't he play the Division?
He did play the Division for a bit, and you know what? That was funny. And I have to cop Division 2 is one of my favorite games ever.
Okay.
But even as someone who likes that game a lot, I didn't find it that memorable. It was just him.
I told you about my experience with Borderlands 2.
So
Borderlands 2 is worst playthrough he's ever done. I would say looter shooters a D. I've never been impressed by these. I think that DSP is badass.
I love looter shooters, but it's just not fun to watch him play them.
No, he'll run around, get a new gun, stare at it for 30 minutes, compare it to his current gun, and then pick up the wrong gun. I don't want to watch it. It's old. He played Warframe. I need to watch him play Warframe. That
would be interesting because Warframe is enough of a twist on that formula where it might just end up freaking him out.
Yeah.
And we might get some funny moments out of that.
I need to watch that too. Is there this you don't play with that one? I need to check that out. Warframe. Need a break, Logan?
No. Do you need a break?
No, I do not. Just thought I'd check in with you.
I'm good.
How about puzzle games? What are your thoughts on that?
Puzzle games. Examples of puzzle games
like
in this context.
Catherine or
oh yes.
Or what was it the Myst game that he was playing?
Oh yeah, Riven. Actually, yeah. So like Riven, Myst, Catherine, anything where a game where the puzzle is the main gameplay. Like a game that I don't think he played, but would be fun to watch him play is The Witness, Because The Witness was just a pure puzzle game where you have to connect lines with symbols and there's no context to it. You just have to figure out what's what. I'd probably put that at like a B or a C. Not the worst, but not the best.
I would say it's C for me. In
Okay.
general, I don't really enjoy watching him play puzzle games. I prefer it if he takes a regular game and turn it into a puzzle game as opposed to playing a puzzle game.
Yes.
That's always more entertaining to me. Him trying to turn Resident Evil boss fights into puzzle bosses when they're not.
Yes.
I would say
I
that's
believe
funny.
didn't the term puzzle boss come from him turning a 3D action boss into like just a very mechanical rote puzzle where he's like, I'm gonna equip this item and then I'm gonna shoot this, because he gets himself into these situations inventory wise where he only has like one option to complete a thing, right?
Yeah. He kind
Yeah.
of shoehorns himself there. And yeah, he thinks that if it involves steps, it's a puzzle boss.
Yes.
And that's his whole King of Retro shit. That King of Retro shit is something he's never deserved. Because he would say Andross is a puzzle boss, when all you have to do is shoot his hands and then shoot his face. Well, you do have to take steps.
Yeah, like the game wanting you to learn a pattern is not a puzzle boss.
Mm-mm.
Like it's not. It's games are pattern based. They just are, you know.
Hey, in Bode, I don't see him ever playing Witness. At least I don't think
Did he actually? Hey, if anybody's got it, link it to me because I might want to watch some of that on stream.
DSP Witness.
I just want to know what he would do with the Witness. I think it'd be too abstract for him, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it doesn't seem like something he would be down for.
Yeah.
He would say it's some sort of try-hard game or whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, I'd put Puzzle at around C. I don't think.
Okay,
I've
yeah.
never been really too impressed by him. What about party games like Mario Party or what's that other one? Like Fusion Frenzy. I guess it's Fusion Frenzy is a party game.
Oh, well, didn't he play Mario Party with John?
He did,
Wasn't that
and he played it with Leanna.
Okay, I think because of that, I'd put it at like a A or a B, because anytime, like, it's weird. At the time, everybody fucking hated Leanna,
Mhm.
but I actually think that her being in a playthrough adds value to it.
I agree.
Looking back,
Whenever I see Leanna's a playthrough, I get a little excited.
because it changes the dynamic entirely.
Exactly. Then we got Billy and Mandy as opposed to just Billy. You know?
Exact. Yes.
And John doesn't really do it for me. John, I've watched a couple of his streams that he's done with John, and some of the This Is How You Don't Play This that are John centric. Aside from Lost Planet 2, pretty much nothing with John is watchable. And the reason why is two things. John is competent and wants to get done with the game, so he'll just kind
Yes.
of fly through the game. He's not going to wait for Phil.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing is that the humor between them is not good. Like it's not, they don't have a good sense of humor. They don't have a good
No.
chemistry. And yeah, it just makes for some really boring content. That's what contributed to Borderlands 2 being so terrible, was that John and Air Raid Lord would just clear the map while DSP was messing with the menu at the beginning of the area.
Yes.
And-
And the thing about John that a lot of people don't really want to admit is that John's humor is basically DSP's humor with a filter. They're very similar
Mhm.
in terms of the humor they try and present. It's just John has an understanding what he can and cannot get away with it, but it's still boring.
Yes.
You know?
John's humor is incredibly one note. He'll just say lyrics from a song and then laugh, and then DSP will repeat the lyrics and then laugh. I'm like, that's not a joke. It's not funny.
Yes. A lot of it is kind of, for lack of a better term, dad humor.
Yeah.
Too. If you look at John's humor, it's like weird puns, but he can't really sell them very well.
No.
It's like that thing ALT quotes all the time where he goes, "Hi, my name is John, and I'm here with Howard." Like, that's not funny because it's funny. It's funny because it's trying to be funny and it
Yeah.
misses.
It's
you know?
awkward.
Yes,
He's got some good awkward humor.
Yes, John's humor is very awkward, so it is funny in kind of a meta sense, but his jokes don't hit.
No.
You know.
I'm amused that you tried, John. Not that you
Yes.
were funny.
Uh-huh.
So, party games, though. Like, do you
Party
remember much
party
of them?
games, B. I'd say put it in the middle. Put it.
I
in
would
B.
say so. I've been generally not impressed by them, but there's also a lot of fun lore that goes into them sometimes. Like DSP had that fight with John over the party game because
allegedly,
allegedly.
DSP said John didn't want to play it because it was a kiddie game, but then John said that Phil wanted to play it with his girlfriend. So there's like two sides to that story.
Exactly, and of course, DSP's side is the correct one.
Of course, yeah.
What do you think of MMA and boxing games?
S.
Yeah,
S.
I would have to put them at A or higher because they are really funny watching DSP just get rocked.
I'm willing to go to A because there's a particular UFC playthrough that is just fantastic. And like I have to give Phil the tiniest bit of credit here. The control schemes for the UFC games are overly complicated, unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah. But
give DSP an unnecessarily complicated control scheme and you've got gold. You've got absolute gold.
Absolutely. His screams of anguish are so genuine. He truly doesn't know what to do.
No.
It's really
What do
funny.
I do? Come on.
I'm blocking. I'm getting out of submission.
Yeah, and he there's so many good moments where, and this was pre-camera by the way, but there were so many good moments where he would still go, I'm blocking, and you could just hear him mashing the button through his microphone.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
he ain't blocking. He taking it out of the face. The elements that I've always really loved about his MMA and boxing ones is how he will always make his character.
Yeah, and actually Frog Machine mentions in the chat the face scan stuff that resulted from some of those EA boxing games. Really fucking funny.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, let's throw it up there. We're throwing it on the S. And I love watching DSP as his playable character. I will always argue with people who say he should choose different characters. No, DSP should always make his character look like DSP. Because it's funny as hell watching Mike Tyson punch DSP's head off.
Yes.
So,
and if you look at the comments for some of those videos, that's exactly what his comments say. Is that like it was very entertaining to watch DSP get beat up. You know,
DSP's just on the ground flailing. What's not to love about it?
Yeah. Somebody should make Jaha in those games and box DSP. That would be resolution.
And put DSP audio over it when he's screaming and yelling. Yeah.
I guess if it makes you feel better to hit me, then do it. Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic. I just drink gin all day.
Yeah. Yep.
This next one's kind of a big catch-all one. This one's atypical competitive. And I used the example of Rocket League. But pretty much any competitive game that really doesn't fit any molds, I'd put DBD
like
in there.
Fall Guys.
Yeah, Fall Guys is kind of like that. Rocket League. I would put, what's it called? The imposter game. What's Among Us?
Among Us.
Yeah. And I would put DBD in there. DBD is a very atypical multiplayer competitive game.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on it?
So in that case, like the Friday the 13th game is in there, right?
I would say so.
A or B at least.
Yeah.
Because that's where we got You're the Guy. And not only that, but his reaction to it where he was like, every inch of my dick and balls was just like, it's really funny to me.
It was good because I think that this genre is kind of saved by being rather ambiguous because there's tons of good rants that he had in each of these games. Like I believe he played Fall Guys and he got pretty pissed about that game and he got bullied on that game. He got trolled a little bit. And
he did.
I don't know if he ever played Rocket League. Did he play Rocket League? I'm sure it's amusing.
I don't know. If he did, I'm sure it's not good.
I'm terrible at that game, so I cannot blame him.
I would also count the Jackbox games in this category.
Yes.
And that's where we got Leanna's fake engagement ring. Very good mini arc, Leanna's fake engagement ring.
That was. He was truly stumped by that. He didn't know what was going on. It was really fun. It's really embarrassing when the boss is the last person to know.
Yes. But hey, DSP likes to LARP as a corporation. And as someone who works for a major corporation, sometimes the boss is the last person to know. Sometimes that is true to life.
Oh, man. We're supposed to keep DSP in the know.
No, fuck that.
LTG got bullied off Fall Guys. Dude, LTG had some really funny streams on Fall Guys. He was foaming at the mouth, screaming at the TV sometimes because he was saying all these broke-ass individuals hopped on the game, hopped on Fall Guys just to beat me. Dude is unstable sometimes.
Like you're giving yourself too much credit, Dale. They're just playing and they're better than you.
Yeah. And not everyone's a stream sniper, Dale.
Yeah.
What about extreme sports games like Matt Hoffman or Skate?
It'd be Matt Hoffman, Skate, SSX,
Yeah, stuff like that.
Tony Hawk Tony Hawk would be in that category. Um, I remember enjoying him playing some Tony Hawk games, but I can't point to anything specific. So I'd probably put this at a C for that exact reason, because I remember a feeling I got, but I can't point you to anything specific.
I would say that this one is really hurt by the lack of games that he's played. He's played 2 Tony Hawk games, 1 Skate game, and I think 1 SSX game. He's never played anything else. He never played, what was it, Downhill Riders or whatever it's called, where you
Downhill Riders is great.
Yeah, he never played it. He never played a lot of
Or
stuff.
like Trials HD.
Yes.
I think you could probably count. And the rage bait that game would be for him would be incredible, because it's rage bait for the average person like you and me. Imagine him playing it.
There's no way he didn't play it.
Does anybody know, did he play Trials? Because if he played Trials, we need to watch some clips.
Play Trials. Yeah, because I could definitely see this dude get pissed. Yeah, he played it. He played Trials
Oh my
Fusion.
God. He played Fusion. Yeah.
Okay, it's coming up on screen.
We should watch a couple clips. Yeah. Oh, of course DD Duke has us covered.
Yeah, DD Duke does some great work by doing deep dives for
Mother's
different
Day track.
DSP playthroughs.
And for specific actions.
Oh, John's here.
Oh, John.
Come on, I want to do more single player.
All right, get to the gameplay. All right, here we go.
Let's have fun today.
How you doing, Phil? Oh, this is where it all falls apart. Okay, try again.
I feel like if he was alone, he'd be raging more, though.
Yeah, definitely. Dude, that was... Oh, no,
and I think this game is just fun to watch, no matter what.
It is. It's fun to watch you crash out.
Like, I want to... After the stream, I'll probably boot up some Trials, because it's fun.
might watch one of these after I'm done. But, yeah, so, okay, there we go. I would put Extreme Sports at least B.
Yeah, B. B's good.
Another genre I wish he played more of. I would love to... DSP, also why I ranked this a little bit higher than C, is that my favorite DSP Rage Quit was on Skate 2. And,
really? I'm not familiar with that particular Rage Quit.
It's not a particularly explosive Rage Quit. He doesn't flip out. It's not on the same level as, say, Scarface, where he throws a disc behind him. But he just can't figure it out. He can't solve the game. And so what he comes up with as for his rationale is that it's made for people who are super into skateboard simulators, and that if you have time to learn how a skateboard works, you might like this game. It's the most brain dead explanation I've ever heard out of this dude as to why he's dropping a game. Basically, if I was good at this game, I would enjoy it, but I'm not.
But you tap an analog stick. It's not a simulator. You just tap an analog stick. And
he plays Street Fighter.
Phil.
He plays fighting games. It's the same inputs.
Yeah.
Quarter
if anything,
circle.
fighting games are more complex than Skate 2. Come on.
No, it was something else. I really wish he would have played more. He didn't even finish, I would say, 60% of the game. He dropped pretty early in the game. His Tony Hawk one, the Tony Hawk 4 one is not that entertaining. He's just kind of screaming the whole time. It's not even anything creative.
Yeah.
The Tony Hawk 1 and 2 one was decent. He couldn't figure out that you're supposed to land your skateboard, with the wheels going forward. He didn't quite figure that out. So you just land sideways all the time and die and get confused.
Yeah, I think that comes down to him not knowing how a skateboard works.
No.
Yeah.
Like a car, but you stand on... Oh, whatever. What are your thoughts on sports traditional?
D, immediately.
D?
There is almost no value to watch him playing a sports game. There is some rage in like the MLB The Show and Madden stuff, but to me it's a D.
I would
do you
say
have
so
any
as
other
well.
thoughts?
No, I would say that it's pretty low. He did have, I think his record of fastest rage quit was on a sports game though.
Oh, really?
I think
do you remember
which? He did it on that marathon, the Tecmo Bowl. Dude, he played about 2 minutes and was done. Done with that game
Tecmo
forever.
Bowl is pretty good. I don't play a lot of sports games, but I played some Tecmo Bowl and it was pretty fun.
He was not a fan. He had his little
Really?
plastic helmet on. He was getting all hyped up. He played for about 5 minutes.
That is a pick up and play ass game. Tecmo Bowl. Like that game's supposed to be easy.
Mm.
Man.
He couldn't handle it. He got really pissed too. But
Oh well.
yeah, I would say D because it's just not enough to save it.
Yeah, D. D's
And
the one.
Metroidvanias. What are your thoughts on those?
Probably middle of the road, to be honest, because again, a lot of the classic ones that he's played fairly recently have had save states, and I think
Yeah, those ruin it.
I think save states have just ruined it. I'm thinking more of the remakes, but I think if he were to commit to playing classic Metroidvanias without any of the remake shit, I think they could be fun. For me, it's probably a C, to be honest.
I would say so as well, because even the ones that he had played before just abusing save states in chat, I don't remember them being that entertaining. I don't remember having a lot of fun watching them. So yeah, I would say
he's not good at presenting Metroidvanias like at all.
No. He doesn't have the joy of exploration that I'm sure is necessary. He just doesn't care.
Because there is something very joyful about like, oh, I unlocked this item, so now I can get past that door I saw earlier. Let's go back and check it out, guys. Like he doesn't think in those terms.
Said, oh, I gotta go back and look and
check. Yeah, no, you're right. That's exactly like, oh, I gotta go back to that door at the beginning of the stage. Here we go. He just complains the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an annoying experience. I don't think which Castlevania games has he played? Because I really don't remember him playing many. I know he played that one with that got some assistance by Hideo Kojima, and this dude went nuclear. But that really wasn't a Metroidvania.
I'm gonna look. DSP Castlevania.
You don't remember him playing the new Metroid and Bloodstained?
He played Castlevania Anniversary Collection. Castlevania Lords of Shadow, which I think was the one that was assisted by Kojima. So it seems like the collection, Lords of Shadow, the collection and Lords of Shadow are like the prominent ones I'm seeing on his channel. And I don't remember any of those being particularly good.
No. I think the one where he's screaming at Kojima the whole time was fun, but it had nothing to do with the gameplay.
Yes.
And we're on the last line.
Last line, man.
We got action adventure next.
So this would be like your Horizon Forbidden West? And
stuff like that.
Okay. See, I'm tainted by the Chaos Realm playthrough of Horizon because the Ludwig World Order, this is how you don't play of Cats Horizon Zero Dawn is fantastic.
I need to watch it.
It puts into context that Cat plays games just like DSP plays games.
I play games. Like
she was rocking the starter bow at the very end of the game, and it's like, what are you doing, girl?
That was a challenge run.
Yeah, it was a challenge run. Yeah, it was wild. But the way DSP plays them is kind of similar. I'd put him at maybe a B.
Yeah, I feel like you get some general hilarity out of him playing these games, but nothing that really lasts the test of time. It's just general stupidity. So yeah, I would feel like that's kind of a waste to put it higher. So I'd say B.
Yeah, it would be in the middle because there are some good moments sprinkled in there, but they're few and far between.
DSP hasn't played any MOBAs, has he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I put it on there, but I wasn't sure.
Unless did he play Dota and we didn't know about it?
Did he play League of Legends? I don't think he's played any of them.
Oh my god, DSP playing League of Legends online, that voice chat lobby would be...
I would be there for it.
So wild. They would be screaming at him. Oh my god.
He'd be getting cussed at in multiple different languages. You wouldn't know what was happening.
Yes. Oh my god.
That's too bad.
I don't think so. So I think MOBAs are D because
just none there.
I don't even think he's played any. Platform fighter.
Platform fighter like Super Smash Bros. Or Brawlhalla.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, pretty low in my opinion.
Pretty low. Like I know he rages at Smash Brothers and he hates the Smash community, but probably still C. Probably C.
Yeah, I would say C. He just isn't emotionally invested in the games. He doesn't care about them, so he can't get that attached to flip out about them.
Because there's something there. There's There's definitely something there, but I don't think it's enough to put it any higher on the list than like
No.
a C.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
And then Dungeon Crawler, I'm not entirely sure. Is that kind of like a roguelike?
Yeah, a dungeon crawler would be a roguelike. I'm trying to think of examples that he would have played. Might bring
What
up
is
a
a
list
dungeon
here.
crawler?
Because that, I mean, you do a lot of dungeon
Dirty
crawling
Souls, yeah, there you go.
in Dark Souls. So let me look. Dungeon crawler, because I'm having trouble putting it into words. Dungeon crawler.
So we need to take this
genre.
list to Phil and just say, just play these games. Don't play any of this other shit.
Yes. Oh my
maybe
god!
TV
If he ever does the suggestion box, we should put that in the suggestion box.
I'll put my
Okay,
name in there
so-
so you can yell at me.
Dungeon crawler includes fantasy role playing games. Okay, that makes sense.
Is Diablo? Diablo's a dungeon crawler?
Yes, Diablo would be a dungeon crawler. Diablo, Torchlight,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. I guess so. Really, the only game in that genre he would have played would have been Diablo. I guess you could call by extension Binding of Isaac a dungeon crawler because you are, well, that's roguelike though. I'm not that into Diablo to know. Were his Diablo playthroughs any good, or do they have any entertainment value?
I heard from anyone who watched them that they were just trash and nothing really worthwhile happened on there. He just got handheld and used an OP build and just mashed square until he got to the credits.
Okay, yeah, because I remember Prophet DMing me about those Diablo playthroughs and how bad they were, and he's really into them. So maybe put it in D.
Yeah.
I don't think we know enough to put it anywhere other than D.
Yeah, I really don't know. I think maybe, what was it, the Yakuza game had some dungeons crawling elements. The one where he was just running around in the warehouses and stuff. Still do.
Oh, yeah.
Still ass.
Yep.
What about run and guns?
Run and guns.
So stuff like well, I guess not. I guess I just get it in my head something like 2D, something like Contra or something, or
yeah, like you could even say that like Hotline Miami would be kind of like a run and gun.
Yeah. Big ups, Kitty.
Like Bullet Hell. And if Hotline Miami makes this list, I'd put it at A probably.
Yeah, I know
If we're gonna call it a run and gun.
I've only know little bits about this. I still haven't really looked into it. But from what I understand, he did a run and gun game with John and some other dude. And DSP was saying slurs pretty much the entire time. And I need to look into that because he was saying a bunch of anti-Asian slurs and stuff. And John and the other dude were not enjoying it. They were not a fan. And he played a lot of run and gun games with John. And a lot of them aren't worth really mentioning. They're not that entertaining. But definitely Hotline Miami was really fun. I liked watching that with Vega. And
yeah,
he played it all wrong. He was slowly going around corners and hitting people like, no, dude, you're supposed to go nuts. You're
supposed to go nuts and take risks because the game reloads you in like half a second. So just take the risk.
Can't do it. So what do you say on that one then?
I'd say run and gun. Put it at A.
A? All right.
I think Hotline Miami 1 and 2 alone, if we're going to count them as run and gun genre, puts that up there because his it's a perfect 1-2 punch. Hotline Miami is because he can't play the game well, and then the rage is just the most organic baby rage you've ever seen.
Yeah, he was getting pretty cranky at that game. I remember being rather amused by it.
Yes.
Management sims.
Management sims.
I don't think he's really ever played any stuff where he's running things. Like
he has, but I think this fits into another genre. The only thing that I've watched, and I watched it with Misery Merchant, is Supermarket Simulator. Not Supermarket Simulator, but he played like Job Simulator, and he was managing a supermarket. So I think that's all VR. Does anybody know of any management sims? Like, did he play Football Manager? Has he played Transportation Manager? Probably not. Yeah,
I don't think so.
Because a lot of those games were PC exclusive, and he only recently got a PC.
Yeah, that's true. Because I'm racking my brain. I can't think of any game that he's played. The only thing I think maybe fits that category is he did that game where he was making those schools.
Oh, he played 2 Point. Oh, he played 2 Point Hospital or
Yeah.
2 Point Campus.
Yeah,
2
that's
Point
it. He
Campus.
played that, and he played what was the other game that he played? Like game dev
Oh yeah,
simulator or something.
he played Dave. He did play Game Dev Tycoon. Yeah. They're well. Either way, they're not good.
Yeah, I would
put
say
him
they're.
in D.
Yeah, I'd
They're
say
not
so.
good.
He never really gets into them either.
No.
So okay, now the thing is wrapped, so we can't see the last ones. We got 5 remaining. We got vehicle sims. So I know he played Flight Simulator,
Yes.
and I don't really have a good memory of that. I know he went on multiple rants during Flight Simulator as he was just cruising around in the air. But does anyone remember if any of them were kind of memorable at all?
No. I mean, I've used a lot of stuff from the Flight Sim uh, games as sound clips for him, and like Lefty did too when we made that Flight 1651 arc. But other than just wanting him to talk about flying airplanes, there's really nothing there. I would put that as D because that's also the only one I remember him playing. He never played Truck Simulator or any of those other
Farming
ones.
Simulator? No, none of that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So this
God, he should play more of those with this PC though. Like that is a untapped market for him. That'd be so much fun.
Well, definitely. There's tons of games I really think DSP would maybe not thrive in, but do better with. And he doesn't touch any of this shit because he doesn't. He knows that it's not going to put the right butts in seats. It's going to put us in seats. We're going to want to watch it.
Yes, the trolls are going to eat it up. Absolutely.
But we're not paying this dude, and that's not acceptable. So it doesn't matter what we want. It matters what Jade and OIC want.
That's right. Oh, Jade, his one true fan.
Yeah, dude kind of likes him. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
This last one's a bit of a catch-all group, and it's arcade. And so pretty much any arcade game you would have had before any of these other genres. So what would be an arcade game? Well, I guess like Boggle. That's an arcade game.
Yeah, Boggle.
Or Breakout.
Pac-Man. Like Breakout. I would even put like the Simpsons arcade game, which he played. You'd count that because that's actually that would be a beat 'em up. Yeah. Okay. Has he played any arcade games? I don't think so.
Not particularly. I know he played some stuff in his older stuff, like he played Super Meat Boy, which I would consider arcade.
Yes, absolutely.
So it definitely isn't any time recently. He hasn't played anything arcade like recently. But some of his older stuff, but I don't remember anything from it. I don't remember it being particularly fun.
I can't really recall arcade stuff, so I guess it's by default it's going to D.
All right.
I don't know.
Be more memorable, dude.
Yeah, be more memorable.
Try harder. Play more stealth games. Play Origami. Come on.
Oh, it'd be so fun to watch him play Origami or Mark of the Ninja.
Yeah, Tenchu.
So good.
Well, play it.
Yeah, Tenchu on PS1. You got me thinking about that. Isn't Tenchu coming back though? Isn't it?
Tenchu's dead forever. Tenchu was going to get a remake or going to get a new entry, and then it turned into Sekiro.
Okay. Oh, that explains why there are so many elements where you're like, hey, this is kind of like Tenchu. That explains a lot.
It broke my heart. Well, I do love Sekiro. I would have happily traded Sekiro for another Tenchu game. Oh well. Yeah,
it could happen.
I hope so. They did bring back Armored Core.
True, and that was no one ever expected that.
No, I thought Armored Core was dead forever.
Yes.
So that's cool. But I would love another Tenchu. And they set it up so there's plenty of space for a sequel. Because in the last game, Tenchu Z, you come across this evil syndicate. And it's brand new or whatever. It's at the very end of the game. You're like, oh, this guy works for the Shadow group or whatever. And so then it opens up a whole new thing of, oh, now we got to deal with this group. Who are they? Series ended. So,
yeah.
That's fun.
One day. You're right, though. If Armored Core can come back, Tenchu's got a chance.
I think so. And DSP could play it.
Yes. It'd be a phenomenal stealth game. We could stream it together. Be very fun.
I'm there. So we got Musos next. Stuff like, Dynasty Warriors.
Okay.
I would even say to some extent you could call Dead Rising a Muso to some extent. There's Warriors All-Stars, which I know for a fact DSP did not play. So yeah, any of those, I what are your thoughts on him? Because I only watched a couple of them.
I watched a couple of them, and I remember getting a few chuckles. I'd put them in the middle somewhere because, again, for him, those are just kind of mindless games where he's just slashing hundreds of enemies. He doesn't really commit to LARPing in any sort of fun way or making it interesting. I did see one Dynasty Warriors where Panda was playing with him, and that was kind of amusing.
Yeah.
So yeah, put it in the middle. B.
He also has
I'd
a
say.
ton of insane racist moments when he plays those.
Yes,
he did a lot of in China they say there, and so yeah, that's kind of what saves it from being D. Is just him opening up and being weird. I think that Musos are a little disappointing though, because they're the kind of mindless game that I would think DSP would really thrive with. That he would play these games and just mow down enemies and talk about people who's wronged him, but he kind of focuses while he plays Muso, and that's not really how you're supposed to play it.
Yeah, like in the past, I've put on Musos while I'm listening to podcasts or streams. Like they're the perfect stream game.
Yeah,
you know,
kick it, mow down dudes.
Yeah,
he makes it kind of suck. So yeah, I can see that. See.
Yeah.
All right, we got two more. I want to stop here and thank you again, Logan, for joining me during this tier list. This has been a lot of fun.
Of course.
I've learned a lot. I hope you're all doing great in chat as well. I've been loving your insights. I've been reading them. Didn't want to derail too much.
We see you, chat.
I love you guys. Second to last we got is Hack and Slash. So Ninja Gaiden, I would say Devil May Cry, those kind of games were.
Yeah, there's some good Devil May Cry DSP playthroughs. I'd maybe put it at a B. Just because, like Devil May Cry, and I think, well, maybe to a lesser extent, Binary Domain, because it depends on who you play as in Binary Domain. Oh no! Oh, Metal Gear Rising.
Yes, Metal Gear Rising.
There you go. You know what? Him playing Metal Gear Rising is pretty good. I think Metal Gear Rising gets it up to like an A at least.
And it's another genre I wish DSP would play more of. I would love to see DSP play Ninja Gaiden. He played Ninja Gaiden 3, which is the worst Ninja Gaiden objectively. And DSP playing Ninja Gaiden 2 would be so much fun, but he's never going to touch it. And
yes. And you have to commit to the difficulty of Ninja Gaiden, which is something that DSP rages against, which makes it fun to watch.
He'll ask people what's the best weapon to use and then just use that weapon for the whole playthrough.
Yes.
I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
So we got last one is VR. And I know you did a video on this.
Yep. Yeah, I did a stream I did like a 9-hour stream with Misery Merchant. So I have to give it an S because we watched pretty much all of his VR content, and it's so amazing. From him, it has everything. From him fumbling with equipment, which is something we like never get. From him not understanding how a convenience store works, to him fumbling with guns in VR. It's got everything. I wish he would play more.
Yes.
I wish he would play VR on PC specifically.
I've only seen a little bit of that stream, and I really want to sit down and watch it all because it looks hilarious all throughout. I kind of want to watch it on separately also on Going Green just to give my stupid little insights on it. But you're absolutely right. It's because DSP, like I said, he's not just a weird dude in what he says. He's a weird dude in how he operates. And him fumbling around with VR is just hilarity bait. How would that not be funny?
Well, and him playing Job Simulator specifically, it puts it like, so the first part of Job Simulator puts you in like this corporate cubicle, and it gives him tasks to do, but he's literally just kind of like fucking around with like floppy diskettes, and we're like, yeah, this is exactly what he used to do when he was sitting in the office. And you can tell it's an insight to what he must have been like in like a corporate environment. It's really funny.
Oh, I gotta watch it. It sounds so good.
Yeah, it's I would highly recommend getting someone like Embode on to watch that during a Going Green, because if you get the right guests while he's playing VR, it's so fucking funny.
It sounds glorious.
It's so good.
Yeah, that sounds fun as hell. Yeah, I really wish you would play more VR stuff. Neebs Gaming is a channel I used to follow a long time ago. They kind of fell off, mostly for various reasons. But one of their things they did for a while there was they did a crap ton of VR games. And they were kind of funny with it. But the thing about it that made it not as entertaining is they were all pretty competent. And DSP, you will never have to worry about that. DSP will be dropping all kinds of stuff, setting things on fire. That's what I want to see. Don't show me competence.
And that's kind of the thing with streaming games. You get the best results if you're kind of approaching it as a weird incompetent idiot, or if you're hyper competent at a game, you can stream it very well. If you're somewhere in the middle, it gets kind of boring.
Yeah. I want to see the extremes.
Yes.
Would you, looking at this list, is this where you kind of thought it would be, this kind of dispersion?
No, to be honest, I didn't think there'd be so many A's or S's, but I think this comes down to I think we have a very similar personal bias in that we like watching DSP play games, just not for the reasons he would want us to like him playing games.
Yes.
I think we tolerate gameplay better than most detractors. A lot of detractors don't even bother with it, but I enjoy going back in time and watching gameplay back in time. So
that's definitely the thing about DSP that I prefer over the other things. Like when it comes to DSP drama or DSP gameplay, I always much rather see DSP play a game and just be stupid at it. Because I know how he feels about everything. He doesn't need to explain things to me. I get it, Phil. You did nothing wrong. You did everything correct. Everyone's trying to hurt you. Can you please play Tenchu?
Yeah, this current drama arc, I could not be more done with, to be honest.
Yeah, like, it's kind of petered out. I'm not a fan.
I just want him to go back to begging, which he has. Like, if you think about it, he's almost gone back to the old ways pre-Kino. Because more money got him to beg harder. If you think about it, he is begging harder than he's ever begged. Because
he got comfortable. He liked that money,
and it's that money is pre-spent, so he needs it. But yeah, it's this list looks great, but I never thought it would look this way when we sat down to do it.
Same. When I did this mentally, because I did it beforehand, I thought, all right, where would I put these? It's at least to help with the expedience. And I thought for sure it was going to look like a half pipe, or there was going to be maybe 5 S's, maybe 3 A's, and the rest is going to be C's and D's. I didn't think it was going to be like this, or I guess a quarter pipe is a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
I didn't think that we would have this many A's. That really blows me away. But I think that DSP should just focus on S and A games. I think those are. And I don't think there's anything negative in me saying this. I don't think I'm trying to troll him. I'm thinking, DSP, whenever you're playing a racing game, I want to watch it.
Well, the thing is, he wants to look like he's good at games, and that's his problem.
Mm-hmm.
If he was okay with himself being bad at games, he'd get more money. He would actually get more money.
Absolutely.
Especially, like, he should just play Need for Speed games. Just play Need for Speed. I would love a modern playthrough of Need for Speed Payback. No lie.
Yeah.
He could play that. He could play that on PC. It'd be very easy for him to play that on PC. It would look great. He should just play Need for Speed Payback again. And then I would love to compare the jokes. Because the jokes are going to hit different now. They're going to be different.
Can't use certain hateful slurs. I think that DSP, I know I shit on him calling himself the king of retro, but I feel like that's definitely something that's a very special market right now, because the games industry sucks. People aren't a big fan of the games industry. And there's been a pretty consistent push towards the embrace of nostalgia when it comes to games. I'm seeing more PlayStation 2 streams. I'm seeing more Xbox 360 streams. DSP should do that. He should just get a PlayStation 2. He can afford one. Hook it up and play Hot Wheels Racer on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, just go to a secondhand game shop and pick up whatever they have. Buy the cheapest thing they have. That would be hype as hell. Yeah. If he said, all right, guys, I'm going to go to the bargain bin at the local GameStop and buy the cheapest PS1 game they got, and that's what we're playing. That would be so fucking cool.
I would be excited to restream it.
Yeah, he's never going to do it.
Yeah.
Now I just gave myself an idea. Once I finish moving into my new house, I should just do PS2 streams. I should go to my local GameStop, because the GameStop is still operating miraculously, and see what PS1 games they got and just pick up a few things. Or I'll just stream Ape Escape, because I already got that.
Ape Escape, all right. I mean, that's what I would do. Rad. Do you have a plan for when DSP just goes away?
My plan is to just play games, really. Play games and then comment on like prior DSP arcs. Honestly, things wouldn't change much for me if DSP went away. I met some cool people in this vortex, so I'm satisfied with that.
Yeah,
What do you think you would do if DSP went away?
I don't know, because for one thing, I really love doing Going Green. I think it's so fun to just get high and watch Phil. It's probably my most favorite thing to do. I wouldn't really do a lot of historical streams unless they were just something like I brought up a couple times, said, hey, you guys want to watch this segment on Phil back in 2017 when he did this? But mostly I wouldn't do a whole lot of the historical ones, but I would like to talk with people about historical stuff. So like if someone said, hey, come on and discuss this event, oh yeah, I'd do it. But I don't think I would instigate a lot of it. But I think I would, if I had that kind of gamer audience stream thing, I would do vintage 360 games and vintage PlayStation 2 games the whole time.
Yeah, like you got me thinking the other day about the 360 and how cool the 360 is.
It was.
Like,
It's
I
best
still have
era
a
in gaming.
working Xbox 360, and I would love to go pick up some old games because you can only buy them on disc now.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, it's a bummer you don't live near me. I've got a here, I'll show the camera again. Like I just got this wall of 360 games that I own. That's my game shelf. I spent so many years accumulating all that shit. And I'm thankful, well, I could just stream that stuff, you know? You guys want to watch me play Far Cry 2? Sure, why not?
hell yeah, Far Cry 2 rules.
Yeah,
That game's great.
that'd be fun as hell. And if people see, that's the sad thing. That's what I was bringing up. It's like if you live nearby, dude, just come over and grab whichever 360 games you want.
No, I quite literally have a contingency plan for how to get 2 detractors on stream if somebody physically shows up at my location. Like I've thought about it.
That's cool.
I've got 2 microphones ready to go. I've got the extra mic stand. I've got an extra camera. Like I'm fucking ready. If anybody doxes me and finds me, show up.
Same,
roll up.
man. The only thing I'm scared about is don't read my book. Don't find
Yeah.
my book. I mean that 100%. Don't find it, please. You can come up to my house with a hand grenade, and I will be less unhappy than if you found my book. So, yeah, don't do that. But you got any new projects lined up, Logan? I know you're still working on that This How You Don't Play.
Yeah, like I said, I'm in the process of moving right now. We're gonna get the keys to the house on November 1st. So
That's sick.
we've been preparing ourselves to move for quite a long time, and it's almost over. So expect streams, regular streams on Taken L's sometime in like late November around Thanksgiving time. The things will pick up again, but for now I'm focusing on moving and playing games when I have time. So
That's what's up. Good call.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it. You've been talking about it for a while. I bet it's gonna feel so good when it's all resolved.
yeah, and I definitely I have a list of stream ideas and a list of people I want to come on, and you're one of them. So
Oh,
get
goodness.
ready to come on this holiday season.
All
You're
right, man.
coming on. I've
I'll
got
be
some
ready to
ideas for
discuss
you.
Tenchu.
Oh, dude, we could have a Tenchu stream. Like no lie.
Oh, man, if
We
you
could have
had
a
Tenchu
stream.
on 360, we could play. Well, I don't know. The servers are probably down by now. But
If I can, well, yeah, servers. Hey, there's ways around that. There's ways around that.
Yeah.
We could. We should talk.
should.
There's ways to make old Xbox 360 games
they
work.
got Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer back working online. I might hop into that. Get my ass killed by
Yeah,
demented Japanese dudes. You know,
yeah.
min-maxing. That's
Well,
what's up.
thanks for having me on, Len. This
Oh,
was
sure.
awesome.
Yeah, I guess this is the wind up. Thank you very much for being on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
And thank you everyone for joining me. I will probably be restreaming tomorrow. What's he playing tomorrow? I don't care. I'll just rewatch. I'll watch whatever he's playing. This Thursday we're doing, or this Thursday or Wednesday, we haven't quite decided. We're doing the Internet Asylum, and I'm not sure what we're going over yet. So
Oh, hell yeah.
I'll get you guys hyped when I have more information. But yeah, and no, Timothy, it's not a challenge. It's actually the most amount of respectful thing I can ask. Please don't look into it. So there you go, the tier list. I'm sure you guys would have had some different votings on some of these, but I think like the S are pretty much agreed upon. The S is solid.
Yeah, if you're watching the video on demand, leave a comment in the comments. That would be
Oh, there you go.
interesting.
All right, I guess we're done. Thank you again, Logan. Any final
thanks
words
for having me
these
on, man.
dudes?
It's stay classy and come by soon.
Oh, there you go. To do it.
Do it.
Y'all have a great, safe, blessed day. You know what? I'm gonna end this video on a really good, highly vibrational note.
Why should I allow you to talk when you don't support me? You don't give me any money to pay my bills, so therefore you're worthless to me. You don't have anything nice to say, therefore you're worthless to me. All you want to do is say snide comments, snide remarks, therefore you're worthless to me. You guys don't support me financially. You don't support me in a positive way. You don't encourage me to do great things. You don't fucking support me. So why should I support you and give you motherfucking assholes the right to say whatever the fuck you want? You don't get that fucking privilege. I won't let you have that fucking privilege. You want an opinion on this channel? Then donate some money. Put up with shut up. You want the right to talk on this channel? You want privileges? Then start paying my bills, motherfucker. Until you start paying my fucking bills, then you don't have the right, you don't have the privilege or the authority to say whatever the fuck you want on my fucking channel. Because I won't give you the privilege. Because if you're not supporting me monetarily, then you're fucking worthless to me.
Take care and be blessed, all of you. And may you find great light, power, and goodness within yourselves and redeem yourselves and just get out of the toxic minority. Period. Be with the majority and be good.
Get a 60-day supply of platinum.
No? I'm gonna say somebody in Russia just died, and another just died with that second gunshot. Somebody really toxic. Maybe Putin died by his own sword. Anyway, we have cleared the air. Everything is good. All of you take care and have a blessed, safe day and night.